Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Bitcoin getting that pump on 74,250. We traded it last night in the trading group. I was up till 2 a.m. I'm back in the longs. I can't stop. 76,000. Let's go. Let's go, Bitcoin. All right, shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Welcome to the Crypto Lifer Show. Happy that you're jumping on in and hanging out with us. That intro just hit me in the gut, man. We've been around the world. God bless everybody. Bitcoin holding it down. I was talking about the Discord, just saying, hey, man, they quit, keep going. They complain, keep going. They doubt, keep going. They talk, keep going. They start paying attention, keep going. They start believing you, keep going. They start following you, make great leaders out of them. You know what I mean? Never turn your back. Just keep pushing. Look at Bitcoin. It has these huge liquidations on BOOKMAP suggesting we're going up somewhere to 76,000. We will see. We will see. I told you I got that monthly call that's still booming on the monthly candle. We're going to see how that all plays out. We're going to do our top 10 analysis. And yeah, we got some trades cooking here on weeks right now that are doing damage. We're up about 700 in combined, profits here. We got some other trades going up on Pionex. A little bit of a scalp here, up 150. So we'll see. I want Bitcoin to hold this key level and start to push further to the upside. We might even make a nice little, this is a little flag here on a smaller time frame. We're going to break all this down. We're going to have some fun. There's so much to talk about, to go over. There's bigger, there's smaller. There's a bunch of stuff to look at today. So one thing I want to just see is, because this is the smallest trade I made. We'll see. Yeah, even this right now, kind of inverted head and shoulder. If you look at it, we're right in the model right now. That tells you that you can open a trade right now. So my system says this is a buy. You do what makes you happy. I'm not going to force you. I am not a financial advisor. It could dump in my face in 2 seconds and turn into, I don't know, a nothing burger, right? But the system that I trade on, says this is a buy. It is False Move Monday. I'd be careful. Monday's pretty sketchy. We call it False Move Monday for a reason. It looks like it's going to go one way and goes the other. And I've seen it many, many times. This is kind of the area right here, though. Like, Bitcoin would either get a bounce or it would start to collapse, this nice continuation pattern, Looks pretty bullish to me. This tells me to enter I would enter here. I'm already in, so you know what I mean? But if I wasn't, I would enter the trade. Just, you know what I mean? A little sketchy, man. I would wait for the candle to turn red, to close with the wick or to turn green. Like, I do see the head and shoulder here. Look, shoulder, head, right shoulder. That now has to be defined, which could create a little bit, bots. There's some bots that will read that and they'll short that, and then that will create liquidity so we could, right? There's the nice pump off the 200, off the 21 with the lower stochastics. See, that's why I would enter now with confirmation of the green. Now, the red was beautiful, though, right? So this is what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to bounce off the 21 here, sorry. You're supposed to bounce off the 21 here when you're above the yellow line. So when you're on the white line, you're supposed to bounce. When you're above the yellow line, you're supposed to bounce off the white line. And specifically if price action's been getting tight. Just like this. We already did it earlier today. Like, first we got in here, it pumped. Then it went sideways, and then we skyrocketed to the upside, right? So that's just, one of the trades I was in earlier. And now I'm like, well, it looks like there's no reason to take profit just yet on the trades, right? So I'm sitting here just kind of watching what's going down, and I like what I'm seeing. Actually, I think I could even move my stop to break even now if I'm playing games, but it's hard when you have like a multiple. Yeah, so that's probably the bigger. Let me move out to the 4 hour, because I'm trading like the 4 hour, I'm trading the 1 hour, and it's all in the same chart and it's all over the place. But yeah, here's the bigger trade here. Yeah, I just want to make sure I get the bigger trade. Takes me to 86,000. The smaller trade takes me to about 77.7. If I could be so lucky, right? So we'll see. You know what I mean? One's 82, one's 45. Combined $120,000 in trade, right? We will see. And then you got to take something off the table at 1.2. This has to respect this trend line. Otherwise, it's going to come get me. It kind of looks head and shouldery. It does look a bit like a head and shoulder there. Just want to move this. Yeah, there. I can't lose now. You know what I mean? It might just come and scoop right to the 200 moving average. You see this? Usually, look, shoulder, head, right shoulder. I mean, it's so crazy, but that's a head and shoulder pattern right there in front of us, telling us, hey, there's a 68% chance I'm going to break down the length of this wick to the low wick you can see on the right shoulder, and then boom. Do we get some action right here to get this to wick back inside the pattern? Already we're starting off today with the just absolute, look at that bounce right there. That could be cool. Interesting. Let's do our top down. But as you can see, man, there's already opportunity here in the smaller time frames. If you know what you're doing, you're honed in and you're focused. So stay with me, stick with me, keep pushing. Don't stop. This is when things get interesting. This is when most people have left the market. They're going to come back now. Bitcoin's going to start ripping. If Bitcoin goes to 80, 90K, what are they all going to do, the people that walked away? They're going to freak out. They're going to wonder what they were doing. They're going to say, why didn't I keep listening to that guy with the funny radio voice? You know what I mean? They're saying, I know he was annoying, but dang, he was on it every single day. And now, that's how you turn haters into lovers. People that admire you into just to be able to respect you with even more happiness and kindness, man. You just keep showing up every single day and giving people everything that God gave you. Someone, I was reading something, and it was like, God gave you a gift. You got to learn how to give your gift away. Once you learn how to give your gift away, God, it's like everything starts to make sense. It's insane. Back on that bone broth, baby. Back on that bone broth, man. Anyway, we're going to take a look at the monthly. We're going to whittle it down. But even right now, as I see, this was a symmetrical triangle that could go either way. And it could be a bull trap. Everything lately, every single pump has been a bull trap. So could this be the real one that actually makes the move? The reason why it looks pretty strong is because we've dabbled with the POC many times. The VRVP, all that. Let's just there it is. I was about to say, where's my baby? And you can see we're above the high volume node now after weeks of just in the zone. And to me, it also looks a bit like an Adam and Eve double bottom here. Same thing kind of happened here, though. I'll give you, you know what I mean? And it really just, it didn't give us the love. So ended up just kind of flaking out and rolling over. We'll see, though. It made a beautiful head and shoulder. Like, we knew it was going to happen, folks. It signaled, and then it made like a bear flag there. Like, this made a descender. We got the dump. I remember the trade. Anyway, we did wonderful. We shorted and longed. As a trading group, we did wonderful. We called the short right here. We were able to see it. We called the short at 107,000 right here in this right shoulder. And that's just me being simple, just trading head and shoulder patterns, like, below the 200 moving average. We know when we're below the 200 that you should be looking for shorts. When you're back above the 200, you should be looking for longs. There's small downtrends you can trade, but know that you're in a bigger uptrend. Know how to trade a small trend with a bigger uptrend. Trade both trends. Trend analysis, man, is the key to trading. I'm telling you. I never understood it for years. I couldn't understand. My mentor would be like, yeah, trade with the trend. Yeah. Because everyone says it, but they say it as if, like, cross the street, like, but, like, they don't explain how to do it. Like, say their boat had a bunch of different buttons on it, and no one really knew how to drive it. It was, like, a lot hard. And people are like, yeah, you just drive the boat. You get in and drive the boat. Yeah, you just drive the boat. And then you go to the boat. You're like, yeah, you just drive the boat. And then you see it, and you're like, wait, there's, like, 15 switches and buttons here. Like, what does he mean? Like, I find that that's kind of a lot what I hear when it comes to trend. Mentors of people that when I was learning, too, like, yeah, just trade the trend. And you're like, but what are you talking about? Like, and they're like, just, you know what I mean? High, low, low, high. And you're like, what the, like, I get it now, and it makes perfect sense to me. You almost have to trust the trend a few times to understand how to trade it. This was the trend here. Let me explain. You had your low. You finally got a little bit of a move. You had a higher low. Now you have to assume that you're going to break this high on the next move because you put in a tweezer bottom. You also have to understand how to identify the tweezer bottom and really understand the low. The low is when you get a green candle next to a red one. That holds position, usually with a support or resistance either right above it or holds it on it. Like right here, you had a support right there. You kind of wicked close to it, but you didn't even have to challenge it. And right here, see where these two candle bodies closed? You respected this area. So that support, that's, previous support, held as support. Anyway, once it came up, you made a higher low. So you have your low, now you have a higher low. Now, once you made this right, once this green candle closed next to this red one on the daily. Why am I so like? But once this green candle closed next to the red one right there, you would have to assume that if you can get in somewhere here with a stop below this wick, that you're going to be able to ride the trade to the top of this. So I can trade trend. I can use basically no indicators at all, right? And let's just make sure where we're at. 74,100. Looks like we may lose that key area. Bitcoin playing games here. Slump it around. Let's see if we can kind of hold position and just turn this into a longer, nice, long, consolidation. Trump talking today. There's talks of it being into crypto. Talks of it being about the war. Is there going to be a ceasefire mentioned? Could that just be complete? We don't know. Let's take a look at the bigger picture here for Bitcoin too. Kind of a bear div, right? I mean, a little bit. 1 hour too doesn't look amazing. It has low stochastics, but that wick, we all want to see that close like that. When does that 1 hour candle close? In 33 minutes and 54 seconds. Could just be coming back to the bottom of the pattern, but kind of there's a bear div here too. You can see like a swing down while that swung up sideways. Could be a stop hunt Monday, or this thing could start to rip soon too. Like this could just be the hunt. It's tough, man. Trading is no joke. Remember yesterday I made a little under $6,000 trading yesterday. I didn't even expect it to happen. It was amazing. Between MEXC and weeks. So you know what I mean? So I went a little harder this morning, but all right, dang, it's kind of sitting up there. I'm feeling bullish. Yeah, we need to just get this, make sure this candle doesn't cruise through this bottom trend line and start to crush. We could get a bounce off the 21. They're getting close. $74,000. You kind of want to see it hold. You want to see this resistance here. 73,761. Were these two candles in the 1 hour? I don't want to abandon the right now. I want to get back to the top down analysis. But dang, now we're back at 73. Haven't seen 73 in a while. Interesting. Could take a scalp off the table. Take them both off the table, reconvene, and just decide whether I want to take the risk or not. Some green pump on the 4 hour looks interesting, right? It's like, we'll see if there's FOMO for 74 here. This is going to be a big, in the next 20, 30 minutes. People, every time we go below 34, they decide it's a buy. Could really be the tell sign if we're going to rip or not. I have some falling volume there. You have swing down there on the RSI. You could say this swung down too, so it's not technically bear div, but it's not like the strongest signal right now. It looks good. It's also false move Monday, which is it's not Tuesday morning, Wednesday. Stochastics are really overbought. Reset, possibly for a dumpage. All right. So one trade got hit off. I moved it to break even, so at least it didn't lose anything, but that's annoying. Let's see here. I don't even see that's the deeper trade, right? Yeah. It's a 4 hour trade. Which really doesn't say it doesn't say it says you're fine, Nothing's wrong, but that also might give me a better entry, that's all. 21 right there on the 30 minute it tells you to calm down, stay cool, calm, and collected. It's a really known bounce here. I don't like when this trend line starts to get played with. Once the trend line of the ascending triangle starts to break, it tells me And they might be stop hunted. Doesn't matter to me, really. Let's see here. Just want to show you. Yeah, so I'm doing okay. I've been better, I've been worse, but I took about, I don't know, I took a bunch of trades the last few days. I got back off the, I got my mom back, you know what I mean? So I hit for 4, I hit for 15, I made about 2 grand, right? Then I lost 40, I lost 100, I lost 150, I lost 180. But that's fine. So I made 2 grand, and then I lost like 320, 420, 460. So then I was up like, let's say 1,500. And then I hit for about 2, let's say 17. I hit for a little under 2, let's say 19. You could say 1,650 if you want. And you could raise that to 7 and say I'm up like 20, almost about 2,300, right? Because it's 16 and 7, right? And then you'd say that's another 13. I am rounding. We'll take 100 off at the end, right? So 2,300, another 13 is about 36. And then another 16 on the 36 is 46. And then it's almost 7 really, but so that's 53. And then 27 is 53.27. And then I lost 42, and then I gained 16. So about $5,300. And it was 12 trades, I believe, right? So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 trades, 5 losses. I mean, that's you know what I mean? 9 wins, 5 losses, 14 trades, right? I love it, man. I'll take it any day of the week, right? So, like 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, and I keep the losses small, as you can see. Like I don't try to be a hero here. Like I just chip away, and that's in like a few days, man. That's like 3-4 days of trading. You know what I mean? And that was done on the weekend. I think that was from the Friday the 13th until Sunday night, really, until right now. So, can't be mad at that, man. No. So I'm not trying to be rude. I just want to let you know, like, my strategies do work, man. You just got to stay disciplined. You really do. And if you stay disciplined, you stay calm, cool, and collected, you don't chase trades, you just do what the system tells you to do, you use proper risk management, you're going to take a loss. But they're not going to be catastrophic. And you're going to grow the account. This account was like 28 or something. It's at 33, right? So like, you're good. And that's 20, that's almost 25%, right? So again, and it's not all the time. It's not perfect. You got to just keep grinding. But you got to, and then when you hit like that and you do well, like let's just say, I pay, I'm not a financial advisor, but back in the day, say I'm not making that much, and I started a P&L like that, and I had a job on the side. I'm taking $2,500. I'm buying some Bitcoin possibly with it, or I'm taking $2 grand out, to pay the bills, to pay my rent. I'm keeping 3. You know what I mean? I'm doing something to make sure that the win is a real win, not just a digit on the screen. I'm locking it in somewhere for a longer term gain. Something has to give. You know what I mean? Anyway, back to this. So here we are, right? A higher low. Can we chip? Can we go? Can we go? Can we continue? We want to see if we can get this move further up. Can we bounce? Get this move up here, get tight, get the move, and get back up here to, I don't know, 77,000, right? That's kind of what we want to see. We want to see this hang out, right? We don't want to mess with this key resistance. We already bounced off of it. So we want to make sure Bitcoin gets kind of nice. This could be a really good entry here at 73.4. Hey, let's get back to the top data analysis, but yeah, let me look at the smaller time frames for a second. So look, we did lose. See how we lost the 200 moving average? Instead of making the beautiful flag, we dumped to the downside. 5 minute, I like that. Look, the 5 minute off the 200 moving average. All right, and lately the 200 on the smaller time frames, look, it bounced here, it bounced right there. It's been playing out pretty, like it used to. Things have been changing a little bit about price action. Like it started, because once price action bends in the way I expected to bend more than it used to, I know we've changed direction. Like there's enough institutional money, or someone with big money is somehow about the bottom. They're creating the ability for my trends to go back the other way. And I'll see it, because what will happen is I trade the same way. So at one point, like all of a sudden, all my setups will start hitting like I'm a magician. And I'm like, what? Like my setups hit, But at one point, like almost 90% of my setups, you'll see it'll get sickening. You know what I mean? I wanted to address the crowd here today and say I just wanted to say something, and I have to come forward and apologize to everybody. Okay, it's gonna be really hard for me to do, but I just want to say sorry to the people that I know, to the people that watch the channel, to the community, because I've been spreading something and it's not good, and I really want to make it come to terms here. Let me turn down the music, and I'm really sorry about this. Okay, and it's just something I really have to come out and say. So and it is my fault, and it's something I've been doing, and I just want to address it head on. Okay, but yeah, I feel really bad that I've been spreading gainitis all over the place, and everyone just that I touch gets gainitis. You know what I mean? I'm making people sick everywhere with this gainitis. Some people have mild cases, they can treat it home. But others, man, it's devastatingly hard. They can barely get out of bed, you know? So, I mean, they're sitting with their phones in their hand all day long. They can't even move. Their wives are driving them home on the highways because they have to trade. It's getting absolutely crazy. Okay? They've got gainitis. Everyone I come in contact with, friends, family, they're all infected. We can't stop. I see people with cases all over the place, and every single time I try to make it stop, I try to stop the spread, but it just continues to spread over and over and over again. So I apologize if you have a horrible case of gainitis this weekend, today, yesterday. I'm battling it too. As you can see, I'm doing everything I can to you know what I mean, to balance it out. But, you know, the show must go on. Gainitis or not, like, you know, I got to fight through. So, but I know how you feel. I know it's a struggle, and I'm with you. I'm with you. And together we can get through this. We can get through this. I know we can. I know. So look, we got liquidity above us to 76,000. It says we're all a go-go to the upside. I still got the monthly trade open. We're still cooking. All right. And this actually might bounce, turn into some type of interesting flag here. A Monday false move shenanigan. And we get a continuation here. You have some support and resistance that wants to step up too as well. But failed little pattern. That thing was looking beautiful for a pump. They went and stop hunted people. It was Monday, false move Monday. I handled it well, losing $47. You seen that? I was up a lot more, right? So could have taken the 700. And you get greedy. You made $5,000 overnight. Now you get into a trade for only, like, you know, let's say, I don't know, 600 for 24, and the trade's up 300, $500, and you're just like, no, I'm going for the 7. You know what I mean? The market gets more aggressive, and you basically have to, I personally have to start trading more aggressively, personally. But, you know, I owe it to the market. It's giving me these opportunities. I got to take them when they're there. You know, you may not get it again. Like the 4 hour above the 200 on the 21 is like once every 6 months type of thing when it's really set up the way you want to see it. So for me, I was like, man, all right, let's take a look at the bigger picture. Bitcoin looks like it's doing a bit of a dumpy. We did recognize some bear div. Okay, I'm not in a trade right now. I just want to make that clear here. Okay, want to make it clear over here. Let's take a look at BTC and see what's happening to Bitcoin. Oh, Biddy. We call her Oh, Biddy. So anyway, let's start fresh one more time. For me, I just need to keep my mind in order here. So the first thing that we want to take a look at, which we did already, I'm just going to redo it because I'm like, I want to reset us back to where we were before. It's like you come back in from recess, you do a little bit of a review from where you left off. So look, resistance, we got the bounce. Monthly candle looks beautiful. If it closes this way, it's great. I love it. 2-week chart, 2-week candle finally gave us a very strong close. First bullish engulfing candle we've gotten in a long time where there was more. What does a bullish engulfing candle mean? It means there was just more bullish interest than bearish interest in the last month. So if you split the end of the last weeks into this week, from February 15th to this time, bang, right? And 2 weeks to April, everybody, 2 weeks to April. I can't believe it. Another year has thus passed us. Unbelievable. I will turn 43 years old, man. Tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day. I always remember St. Patty's, and the next thing you know, my birthday comes, and the next thing you know, it's May. And everything kind of turns around. It's interesting, though, not living in New England has changed so much because every year around now, I would be getting this happy feeling that things were going well because the springtime would come, right? 2-week chart with this beautiful bullish engulfing candle. I tell you, that just brings tears to my eyes, tears of joy. No, but seriously, that's a beautiful thing to see. Really nice. And it just closed last night. We got this. That was a big 2-week candle. I love the 2-week. It really has guided me through my long-term investment throughout my life of Bitcoin, trading Bitcoin. Like anytime I've been below this 200 moving average here, anytime we've had this stochastic, the weekly below the weekly 200, the RSI below this moving average here, and below the 200, below the dotted line on the stochastics RSI. And, Bitcoin's also distressed. You'll see it. It's like at a low point in the chart. But that's when I've always bought more Bitcoin. And it is never, like, I bought more Bitcoin down here. You guys saw me. I talked about it. We went over it. Remember, I was, like, going a little crazy at one point. 10, 5s, And look what happened. I mean, that's all in the money now. We'll see. I'm not trying to brag. It's only time will tell. It's one step at a time. It's one day at a time. It's one trade at a time. And nothing has to be right now. Has to be immediately. Like, you go in and out. It's all about proper risk management. That P&L that was hard for me. Look, I had those 4 losses. It gets in your head. You reset. You take a break. You go for a walk. Whatever you got to do. You come back to the charts the next morning, next day. Like all those charts, I expected those to be 500, 400, And whatever. I got stopped out. Something happened, whatever. Or I didn't like what it was looking like, and I got out. I think that's what I kept thinking we were going to bounce, and I was like sitting on this level, and I kept kind of going at it, coming back, coming back. And it was pretty annoying, So what's going to happen, too? Are they going to open up this trade or moves? Is oil going to bounce back, or is oil going to start to dump? We're going to take a look at oil and the dollar, the DXY today. We're going to give you some answers to the international picture of what's happening. And we're also going to look at the NASDAQ. And, we're also going to see some opportunities. There's some other things that I've been looking at recently that, I'll bring to your attention. Pretty interesting. So, this weekend was awesome, man. There was a lot going on. St. John's won the Big East. I believe Duke took the ACC against Virginia. It was, fun to watch, man. I do watch college basketball. I hope it's not fixed. It seems like it's not. I guess you never know, but it looks fun to me, man. The kids try as hard as they can, and so, hey. And shout out to March Madness starting off just next week, right? We're going to start off with March Madness. I will be announcing a bunch of the game. No, I'm just... have a deal with the NCAA. I'll be announcing a bunch of the... No. That'd be amazing, right? Let's go to the weekly. The weekly looks bullish, too. Bullish engulfing. Took out this insanely strange... Last week was weird. It just like... we didn't know what to think after last week. You really didn't. And you can see now there's a support of resistance right here on the weekly because you had these 2 candle tops. And so now you're like, okay, if we can stay above 71,150, like... And let's keep it like that. And we did dump first at the beginning of the candle. We made our tweezer. I don't like that we kind of came down so fast, but we have a tweezer bottom to work from. Let's see where this weekly candle can take us. But so far, so good. I like what I'm seeing here on the weekly candle for Bitcoin. Starting to kind of pick up that momentum, pick up the pace. Finally, look at this. 3 white soldiers. Told you the next candle should be green. We got the move to the upside. What is 3 white soldiers? It's a known candlestick pattern when you're trading. Okay, when you have 3 green candles, 1, 2, 3 candles in a row, it's a known reversal pattern. And you can type in, I like to look at this stuff with you. It's so fun. And you just type in 3 white soldiers in trading. And there's a bunch of different, things that will teach you and talk about it. What I like to do, too, is you can just go to images and you'll see, like, all these different people that show you what it is, right? This one, ours was a little sketchy. I didn't like the wickage. I like it a little cleaner. Usually it's nice and clean, see? But you'll get it at the bottom. See, 3 big green candles. Usually each candle body meets each other. See, you know what I mean? We had some funny business. Like, this is more of what you're looking for. But you can get something like this. You see? And to me, I like that. See, that's 3 black crows. They call it that. To me, I'll take that, so I'll take it too. You know? But whenever you have 3 green candles in a row, specifically on a big time frame, and we got this right now here on Bitcoin on the 5-day chart, that is 3 white soldiers, my friends. That is a known. When that candle closes, basically, you open up a trade with a stop below the middle body of this candle or the bottom, and you should be able to win because the odds are very high that you've caught reversal, right? We got back, we get in down here, we front run and wait for this candle, And look what I said, man. All you have to do to make money in this market is to know your candles. Wait for a green candle to close next to a red one when the wicks match. Because any pump in the history of any asset in the world, that's how the pump will start. And it won't go and take out the wick of the red candle. So find the red candle low, get in. Look, that was a 3-2. That was a beautiful trade. And all you had to do is know how to trade the 5-day. 3-day. You could have done it on the daily. You could have done it on the daily. Got in right here. The second we get a green next to a red, you can front run it before and get in the middle, or you wait for it to close. The 5-day gave you the opportunity, you see? The bigger time frame, the more you can whittle your way in. It's very fun once you get good at switching time frames. See how I'm able to and then your mind has many levels to it. And you can feed it time frames. You can feed it so much information. And at the beginning, it's going to stay cluttered. See, here's the deal. If you're like me, I was drinking here, not all the time, but a few times a week, and sometimes maybe 2 or 3 nights in a row. After 2-3 nights straight, I would always take a few days off. I wasn't the biggest drinker. I mean, my friends drank almost every day for years, I at least took some time off, a lot, because I need my time. But anyway, I did drink alcohol, too much. I don't drink alcohol anymore, everyone. Been basically 4 years since I've had a sip of alcohol. It'll come up on 5 when we get to November of 2026. A beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Very blessed, very lucky. Truly 3 years exactly. One day I wrote down and tried a sip of gin and tonic when I was in Miami after my dad died, and I took a sip and I said, I don't want to do this, man. I'm going to get drunk at the pool. This is not what I need to do, and I didn't. So technically 3 years, so I could say that, but it had been a year since I had even thought about it before that hand. And again, so I almost slipped up there. I did take a sip. I'm being honest, but I promised to on myself and the world that I didn't finish the drink. So I guess I have to say I owe 3 years because it was around May of 2023. So there 3 years. But in the last 4 years, I've had one tiny sip, and it will be 5 years this November. I stopped drinking on a Thanksgiving night. I just looked at it and decided I didn't need it anymore, and it didn't serve me, and it wasn't for my greater purpose. I knew I had a greater purpose, and I asked myself, do you want to go for your greater purpose, or do you want to kind of live a regular life? And I said, it's up to you, man. It's okay. I said, it's all good. This is your life. Do what you want, man. You can hang and just kind of be medium, or you can really push yourself to live a life of pressure, live a life where you have to step up every day, live a life where you have to lead. It's not going to be easy. But which life do you want, Sam? And I had, it's almost like God was right there. He said, hey, man, I've shown you the way. I've shown you the path. You've turned away a few times. You've done what you've done. And, I can only help you so far. And I decided, hey, I'm going to go the big, I'm going to try to go for the big one. And I'm going to try to make my life something that I never thought possible. And here we are today. So God bless everybody here. And I appreciate anyone that goes after their own dreams. And, supports their loved ones, cares about people, and puts other people's, love and care first. If you're a family man, you put your kids and your wife first, no matter what, you're always there. I know how that is, man. And that's the greatest feeling on earth, honestly. It's the best job on earth. There's no better job than to be the man of the house and to make sure all your kids, your daughters, your sons, your wife, everyone has what they need. And you don't have to say anything about it. You don't have to moan about it. You do it quietly and with grace. Nothing is done well if it's not done with grace. You don't do something and then tell everyone about how much they owe you because you did it for them. And it's almost not worth doing it at that point. So Bitcoin was in a symmetrical triangle. It could have went either way. We've talked about it. To me, it broke out of the symmetrical triangle, right? And you can see there's a good supportive resistance level right here that we were holding. Resistance, resistance, we bounced above it, we kind of hung, and we broke out. So this is where we stand. Like, is this going to turn into a wicked move and continue to pump? It looks pretty good. Let's turn on the moving averages. So today, like, this is what I was looking at. I said, listen, everyone, we're in, and this was last night too as well. But I could see that the 21 was above the 200 and touching, and the price action was right inside, and we were in consolidation. Whenever I've seen that, we've gotten a massive pump. So we longed right here. We were longing all day. I already talked about how we made gains. That's why today I'm pretty laid back because I made like I was up till 2 a.m. trading, everyone. So if you see me I'm a little lucid. I was up till 2 in the morning, and then I was gonna sleep in till 8. But we had guests that were leaving, and I had to get up and be nice and say goodbye. And I was exhausted. But you do the right thing for other people, man. It's not about you. You don't sit in bed when people came to visit you. That's rude, right? My wife came in. She like always acts like I'm going. She's like, they're leaving. And I'm like, I'm getting out of bed, babe. I got this. Like, no, but funny, yeah. You could also top this off. You could raise this up, and you could say, you know what? We're just coming back to the 21-day moving average. We're just kind of going to finish off the tip here. That didn't sound right. But we're just going to, get it. But it is what it is, right? Sorry. I know, man. I'm like, always got my, Well, you know when you're eating ice cream and you just, right before it goes into the cone, you got to get, what? What? That's what I was. Oh, you were talking about something else? Oh, man. No. Okay, so let's take a look. I mean, that's on you. That's not on me. That's on you. Like, I didn't do that. Like, you did that. Don't blame me for your dirty schemes. All right? Don't blame me for your dirty schemes. I'm messing around. God bless you guys. Sorry, man. I don't mean to be... Let's take a look at the super chats. Let's pop up the chat, see what's happening to my lifers today. I just saw a bunch of colors in there, so that's interesting. Wow, we got some super chats to talk about. Thank you so much, folks. Sometimes when Sam is muted and starts the show, I just realize how blessed I am to have my hearing and be able to listen to Sam every day. God bless. That's amazing. That's pretty cool. A man can make what he wants of himself if he truly believes that he must be ready for hard work and dedication. Shouts to all the tradesmen, welders, iron workers, and hard workers. Let's keep going. Bless you, Sam. Shout out to all the tradesmen, man. My dad was an iron worker. My grandfather was a bricklayer. I was a union, editor. I took in footage too. I did some labor in that job. Not a lot, but I did. The best TA in crypto. God bless. Thank you, Omar Lopez, man. Thank you so much. Shout out to everybody here. And thank you for the super chats. I don't even deserve them. I'm not worthy. These are amazing. God bless you all. Thank you. It's very nice of you. Okay, so Bitcoin. Can we continue the rally? Did we already just break out? So I got other longs open in case that's the case. Because, it looks like we could just continue to rip here. But, I'd like to see the 4-hour do its thing. And really just continue to melt faces. To me, it broke out. Like, it's a clean breakout. Like, we got so tight and we broke. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. Like, that's one of the nicest breakouts I've ever seen. Like, we got so tight. You raise this resistance. And you can see we clearly have a resistance right there. Like, right where that, we got to break through that previous area. The 21's still crushing it. Everything looks all right. Stochastics are a little high. Can you check out Caspa? We will. Thank you, Ryan. We'll take a look at Caspa for you right now, sir. Thank you. Let's take a look at Casper just for a second here. Thank you so much for that super chat. We got to get back above the 200 of the 5 there for Bitcoin. Zoomed in. We just got a quick little look. Wow, Casper actually getting blasted off. Look at that. Casper was in the model on the 5-minute time frame, 21 above the 200 with a beautiful measured move. How do you find the measured move? You take the wick to the wick here and you flip it, and that's really where you go. Pump, right? Then look, you did the same thing. You come back to the 21. Once you come back to the 21, you take the next wick back to the upside. That's exactly what happened, and now you're kind of inside another flag. Something's brewing for this puppy. I mean, I never sold my Caspa. I keep it kind of just chilling. And it's hanging out till the right time, right? And no stress. Nothing has changed about the fundamentals of Caspa. And I like Bitcoin because of proof of work. I'm old school. And I like Caspa because of proof of work. Omar Lopez asks about XRP. Another $20 super chat, man. That's crazy, man. I can't believe that. That'll come back to you tenfold, though. So every time you give to someone else, no matter the cause, anytime you open up your heart to give, that's what, and money's just, it's money is energy. And so, like when you're at a restaurant and you could give more tip, you know what I mean? Bang, like that's just your opportunity. So I know there's other ways to give. Some people don't have a lot of money. You can give with your time, right? You can give with love. You can, moms show up for their daughters and spend all the time with their kids and become really good grandmas and really show up when, someone's in stress. I know a lot of grandmas that hold a lot of families down. Without the grandma, like, they'd have to hire someone they didn't know or maybe get a babysitter or something. So shout out to all the grandmas out there. Do we have any grandmas on the stream? This would be interesting. Check this out. Let's see. Do we have any grandmas on stream? Anybody? Anyone? If we have anyone out here is a grandma. Like, let's see if we're going to be the most official crypto trading group in the world right now. If we got a grandma on live, we got a grandma out there. If you're a grandma, let me know. And don't lie, man. Some dude's gonna come out. I'm a grandma. Seriously, don't throw it off. I want to see if there's really a grandma out there. You think we have a grandma on stream, babe? Babe, you think we got a grandma on stream? It's probably inside my pack. It's usually inside there, or it was next to the bed. Yeah, it's on top of my other. No, it's in top. Is my pack in there? No, it's on. Babe, I'm live streaming. I know it's on top of the. Here, take my phone and you can find my white keys. With Find My keys. Let me give you Find My. Because my white keys should have something on them. This is craziness. I'm a live streamer over here. Look, Caddy keys black, play sound. Here, take my phone. I'll tell you where the keys are. I got it done for you. All right, no one listens to me anymore. Shout out to everybody here. Shout out to the grannies. Okay, let's get back into this. I identify as a granny from time to time. So we have one person that identifies as a granny. He's not a granny, And I got distracted right now by that. I really wanted to see if there was a grandma here. My dog has puppies, kind of like being for a grandpa. You're funny. My mom isn't watching today. You're funny. I have 3 grandchildren. I am a grandma. We have a grandma here. We have Cool Marsh. 8,000 is a grandma. So cool. I am a grandma. Another grandma. Another grandma. So we have more than one grandma. See? Universal streamer, man. This is amazing. Well, shout out to the grandmas, man. I love y'all. You guys really are the glue to society. You do so much to keep things together. So many stories I hear of grandma coming through without grandma. Seriously. Sometimes, sadder stories I don't want to break up. But you know what? When grandma has to come to the rescue and actually raise the kids too, it happens. It happens, right? And do double duty. Caspa looks like it's about to pump. Something's going on with it. People are liking it. It's on some type of tear. The 21 touching. This is looking bullish. I like what I'm seeing there for Caspa. So Caspa looks bullish. 5-minute is getting back above the 200 moving average. Let's get back into BTC. So Bitcoin on the 4 hours looking like chop. But it's still above the 21. It's looking nice. The moving average it's crossed the 200 and it's did the dip, got back above it. Like it's done its penance. Usually when you cross the 200 moving average in the 4 hour time frame in this way, you did it here and it was a fake out. So it could be just a little other, that's why I'm telling you. It still could end up being a bear flag on the 3-day or something. But here, see, when we got above the 200, that turned into a huge move. Same thing here. And same thing here. And same thing right here. You got above the 200 in the 4 hour, it became a massive pump. Right here, once you got above it, you retested it one time at 62,000, and you went all the way to $226,000, right? So anyway, so the 4 hour is significant. When you get above it, you should pay attention. The 4 hour 200 moving average. It's definitely something you want to say, that's interesting. Again, and this is why some people say pattern trading, but that's why you don't just pattern trade. Patterns are just part of your trading style. They help you identify when price action's getting tight. There's no reason to shun them. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's no reason not to use it. Look, because you could have bought here, you could have bought there, but like the pattern tells you to buy right there. It's less mentally stressful when you tell yourself what's going to happen. Again, the pattern told us to buy right there. You see what I mean? We took both these pumps. You could have shorted back to the 21. My system tells you when you're away from the 21, back to the 21. I usually don't do it that much. I could do it more. I've done it. There's days when I have long, then shorted immediately back down, and I went boom, boom, boom. And then I've sold the short, and then got back in the long, went 3 for 3. I haven't done it many times, but I did it like, I don't know, it was like 5 or 6 weeks ago. It felt amazing. You're like, bing, 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 you know. I would have been fine with just the long, though, and this long here, so, right? I'm out of Grandpa, but Bitcoin makes me feel like I'm 80 sometimes. I know, right? What's going on with XRP? Wow, the mega pump. Oh, yeah, someone asked about XRP real quick. I mean, all coins are just pumping, man. I think people believe that insiders believe Trump's going to mention something about the war. And if he says there's a ceasefire, then oil's going to tank. Okay, and if oil tanks, Bitcoin's going to pump. And if Bitcoin pumps, the altcoins are going to do damage. And then everything's going to kind of come into place the way it's supposed to. You see what I'm saying? It's all just kind of going to work. And as easy as that story sounds, sometimes it is that. That's the narrative right now. And this market is being run by narratives completely. Look, I mean, that is a double top. That tells you probably should be shorting back down to this key area. I won so much last night, there's no reason to go crazy, right? TCAT up 8,000 in 24 hours. TCAT. Interesting. So we're back to all sorts of fun and games going on now in the market again. Just be careful. A lot of people are going to rush right back into these memes and get crazy. So what do you do today? Well, I wait for the candles to tell me what to do. Let's get a green candle on the 1 hour next to the red. You know, let's maybe, and if you don't want to wait for the 1 hour, sometimes you don't want to wait that long. You feel like you may miss out. You switch to the 15. 15 minute did get a bounce here. Is it sustainable is the question, you know? And that's why I like the small time frames. They give you some time to watch them before they give you like too much, you know, not all the time, but like, you know, like this could bounce and start doing this, or it could start kind of rolling over. It has some double top vibes. This swings down while this swings up, and there is a bear div there that was sent down. Funny, look at the hidden bullish. Swing up to swing up, swing down to swing down. Says you'll break this high before you break this low. Bing, you did. I love hidden bullish divergence. It's amazing. With low stochastics, if you pull a Fibonacci, you'll always get a 6, like usually a 786 or the 6. Like, look, it came right there, 706, but it will come somewhere between the 786 and the 618 golden pocket, 90% of the time. And let me make this a little clear because it's probably hard to see, but this is something that I've done this is like a model of mine too. So check it out. Whenever I see hidden bullish divergence, low stochastic with the Fibonacci below the 618, it's like telling me something's going to go on. Just want to make it, you know, so and this is just a known, I've seen this on big time frames, small time frames. And again, it says you're just going to, a lot of times you just pop right above and that's all you get. I'll show you this on Bitcoin on the weekly too, and you'll be like, wow. And that's why you can trade 15 minute to the weekly, weekly to the 50-minute, macro to micro, micro to macro. They combine. I'm up 2,000 in my long position on XRP. That's so awesome. 2,000%, he said. Oh, even no, not 2,000, 2,000%. Sorry, I misspoke, man. You did something amazing there, and I'm downplaying it. That's awesome, bro. Keep ripping, dude. Keep kicking, keep hitting it. I also like to make trend lines like this, like a sharp trend line. Get back inside the trend line. We have ourselves our next, you know what I mean? Because this will push me to get in the trade if we get the mounts. I'm seeing some big signals here on Monday. The bigger time frames still look good to me. You know, as long as the 1 hour and the 15 minutes stay above the 200, I see no reason why the bigger long can't play out. Let's take a look at your 1 minute. Again, the 1 minute has to get back above the 200 or at least mix and mingle with it. I see a bit of almost an inverted head and shoulder here, don't you? So we got good bull div, a swing up on the RSI while we swung down on price action. We got a bit of a double bottom. Played out, hit the target. We got shoulder, head, possible right shoulder. Bit of a flag here, breakout. We cross back above the 200. We start to get tight. Bang, we're back in action again. This is just consolidation. All right. No reason to leave the trade. 21 is actually showing signs of a long right now on the 1 hour time frame. Let's take a look. I like buying on the moving averages, right? They tell you They're better, you know. So here's the deal. Do we flatten these shorts or does this double top take over? And like I said, like on a day like a Monday, I'd be more aggressive on a Tuesday, but on a Monday, I might wait for this to close green. Trade says we can get to 76. Let's take a look at BOOKMAP for you. BOOKMAP is a heat map order book, okay? What does that mean? Well, it means that heat map is like looking through infrared goggles, right? And an order book is when you can see how many people have bought or sold something on the order book, right? Like right here, you can see on the right, you have all these orders coming in. This guy's selling 840, this guy's buying 820, 980, you know, you can see. And this order book is changing hands, right? People are going in and out. And look at that, man. I always avoid a massive loss. It's really smart, like the way I trade. I'm being honest. Like, that's why I'm able to show P&Ls over and over again, where I trade 10 times and I lose 2 or 3, or I trade 14 and I lost 5, but the 5 were very insignificant. One of them was $46. I think another was $27. You know what I mean? It didn't sit right. I had a plan. It didn't go the way I wanted. I cut the plan off. Like today, my plan was for this to stay inside a beautiful flag and break out. 21 was supposed to creep up. This was supposed to get nice and rip. When this trend line broke, even, you know, on the 15, I had to come to terms that like that, the plan had been, like that was the trend. It was really nice. When they broke the trend, I mean, I had to say I couldn't be in the trades anymore. You know, and this is a big thing that saved me a lot of money. When the trend line breaks, I have to give up the trade. The cool thing about it is, yes, sometimes it's a stop hunt and you feel like a fool. The key is to have so much control that I know if they break us back inside, I'm back in again with a stop below these wicks. And then boom, I usually eat that stop for breakfast or what I lost and I make a lot because the loss is small. Bitcoin still shows signs of a move to the upside. I mean, BOOKMAP is screaming. So this is BOOKMAP, a heat map order book. And it's saying 76,070. This is saying the people have shorted. More people are short than long right now. And their stop losses are all up here. And this is the easiest place for us to go and grab a big ball of liquidity. And for whatever reason, that's how the market works. It's telling us, hey, we can get up there. So that's why I wouldn't close like a 4-hour long right now. Not just yet. Might actually be a nice, see that tweezer bottom on the 15? It's technically a higher low. It's very like, so this pattern isn't perfect, but this is kind of what I'm looking for. This is in the cards for sure. Resistance, support and resistance, 74. So we could trade support or resistance right now. Not even the pattern. Like you could not even see this pattern. You could just see, hey, bounce high or low with a tweezer bottom. So that like says something. You know what I mean? That says, hey, I got a higher low with the tweezer bottom. You're combining candle bodies with this idea, and then you put a stop below, let's say resistance, previous support. Still gives you about a 5-9-1 risk reward ratio, right? If we end up bouncing, going sideways, you're in. If you get taken out, you get taken out. So look, with the P&L that I just had, I think I was up, what was it, did we come to, it was like 5,300 or was it 5,400 or 56, something like, I don't know. 77,848. And that's weekend trading, like, you know, and I made another trade too on another exchange. So it's like, I think it was a total of like almost $7,000. It's crazy, man. Like 60, yes, yeah. 68, 6,900 bucks. 72,698. I don't expect to make money on the weekend like that. I had friends and family over. I bought, you know, I don't know, 200 bucks worth of steak. Cooked it for everyone, had a blast, had a really good time. The steaks cooked so well. Everything was awesome. It was a blessing, man. And like, I literally sat down on my hands and knees last night and said, thank you so much. I had such a beautiful weekend. I got to go to the car show with my buddy. He took me. Without him, I wouldn't have been able to go. I can't go places if someone can't go with me now. You know, I really, like, I need help. And God provided so many beautiful people to be there for me this weekend. And I just want to say thank you for the, you know, thank you, dear Lord. I'm so grateful. I'm really, because of my leg, man, I'm grateful for the littlest things that people do for me now. You know, I could have done things all by myself. I can't now. It's not, you know, I got to be careful too. I could fall. Something could happen. So I could risk 382 for $2,000. This ends up playing out. I'm in good shape, right? I like to make more than that on a almost $5,000 move, but I also don't want to get bagged on a Monday, or risk more than I need to. Something now. So there. I jumped in here. I may get stopped out. I don't have tons of faith in this trade, but I'm going with the fact that we made a, pretty big tweezer bottom there on the 15. And I'm putting my stop below that previous low there. That's my reasoning. Really simple. It may not be the best right now. We'll go from there. You can create the P&L that I created there by being really simple. You do not have to be a genius, folks. You don't have to, you know what I mean? The best traders are not the smartest people in the world. They're not the, you know what I mean? They really aren't. They're the people that are more consistent. Really smart traders are really good. They'll figure it all out, but then they'll go camping for 5 weeks, or they'll go out here, or they'll get into 5 different projects at once. And next thing you know, they miss one of the biggest moves of the year. You can take risks too when you're on the markets all the time, because if I can get hit and take I could take a hit if I have to. I try, I attempt to do everything I can not to. But if I'm in the market every day, when the market gets real good, I'm probably going to be able to take advantage of it too. So because you don't take days off, you can take advantage of the market when it gives you those gifts. There's gift days to traders. There's some days where you see it, you trade it, it works out. This weekend was one of them. Like yesterday, and again, we were tight inside that symmetrical. It could have gone either way. They mainly break to the downside, but not when you finally bottom, that final bottoms, you finally bottom and then you make a symmetrical triangle because no one knows what's about to happen. And what happens is that ends up breaking to the upside finally. So look at that ball of liquidity. It's dark red, man. It's telling us we're going to 75,000. So I can't tell you what's going to happen for sure. But BOOKMAP is telling me that there's going to be a massive short squeeze up to 75K. And we've seen it on this channel, I think over 500 I'd beg to say we almost may have seen it 1,000 times. Maybe that's crazy to say, but how many people have seen the short squeeze on the, here on the channel between 10 and 12? And we watch it on the 1 minute reverse and blah, 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 I've seen it so many times I can't even count, so. That 21 of the weekly will probably come into play. Yeah. I was just Erica, then you went and changed my handle and I left. That's so weird, right? Sam, which is more accurate, the liquidation heat map for CoinGlass or BOOKMAP? It depends. I mean, I only really use BOOKMAP a lot, so yeah. Can you help me with your trend lines? Yeah, I'm basically always long, but you can see, I mean, you just saw my P&L. I'm always long. I don't have to be. I can find longs all the time in anything. Look, I could have long from here to here. I could have long from there to there. I could have long from there to there. I did long that. I mean, that's a beautiful long. 21 above the 200 inside the flag. Why? Right there, 21 above the 200 inside the flag. Why not be long, right? I'm a lifer now, too. God bless you, Erica. Thank you. Let's pump the like button, lifers. Thank you, Lakochi in the house. Thank you. God bless you. Yeah. Let's take a look at XRP. It looks like we're going to get a bit of a move here back to the top of the channel. 73.5 is a psychological number, too, as well, that people are going to hold. A lot of people are going to be like, man, I like 73.5, It's looking pretty strong here on... Yeah, it's looking strong. I wouldn't be surprised if we just start to absolutely moon here, folks. I would not be surprised. Don't get greedy. A lot of people get greedy here, but I'll tell you what all. That's a big move to the upside over here. I could risk 1,000 of the 5,000. This starts to get tight, and we get in here. I think I'm going to add to. I desire to add to the trade. I desire to win. Let's go. Let's go. Is there another? I'm just looking at every exchange. I'll be like, open up and one on every single exchange I own. There's a nice calming music here to everything's going to go well. The trade's going to go great. Everything's fine. Music can really put you in a mood, right? Specifically music without words, man. I'm all about the instrumentals. Let the vibe just take you on take you on the story in your mind that you're writing. We don't need all the cussing and the swear words. I don't know what happened. What is that all? That's not good for your frequency. It can't be. It can't be good for you to listen to that stuff. Alcohol references in every single song, no matter what it is, no matter what genre. Right? Bitcoin looks like it's struggling. Closed an interesting candle, though. More bullish than bearish after the continuation of the, it was almost a bullish engulfing. It didn't get it all the way, though. Someone kick grandma a little harder. She is, oh my gosh. Music is psyop. Yeah, waiting for one bit. It really is. And it's like, it's to control the population. Look at Caspa break it out. Wanting to head to the bigger target. And there's actually a lot of altcoins that are doing some damage here. I'm going to get to that XRP, and then we're going to look at more super chats if they come in. Let's take a look here. So we did our top-down analysis for Bitcoin twice, too. Once this morning for the group and once for my, once right now for this show, which is awesome. When the market changes, Pepe's going to be the first coin to move. And I hold some Pepe. I really do. Up 19% today, too, as well. 57% for Fetch, which is an AI-connected coin. And you see even Caspa back in one of the top 10 coins pumping today. Amazing. Amazing. Gnosis Cardano back at 28 cents. I could see Cardano at $2.80. I could see it do a 10x again. Solana will get back above 100. People will say, oh, well, should have bought more. XRP 150 up 10%. So, you can see all coins just took a big move. And we're going to show you why. If the DXY took a hit, if there's rumored that the war is going to stop, then we could start to see some bigger moves here. All right. So welcome to the channel. My name's Sam Price. We live trade here on this channel. We give you free information every single day. I give away basically exactly what God has given me, my ability to see the market. I spent 20 years. I'm 43 years old in a couple weeks. And I'm here to teach everybody, young and old, all races and ethnicities and all sexes, whatever, I'm here to teach you, man or women, whatever you are, whatever you're doing, I'm here to teach you. So if you want to learn, if you love the world, if you want to spread happiness, and then throughout the show, I like to spread positive energy because that's just who I am. So you're going to have to hear a little bit about, maybe a story here and there, and I have a connection to God that I love, and I'm appreciative of everything in my life. To me, God is gratitude, they go hand in hand. So because I believe in God, I'm grateful for every moment. And when I'm grateful for every moment, I create abundance. I really do. So God, my connection to God has created abundance in my life, and I've seen it happen. I remember when I wasn't as tapped in, things weren't going the same way. And so I'm going to stay tapped in. And I don't really have an explanation for it. And so you guys are watching a live experiment of me really diving deep and submitting. And since I really dived deep and submitted, things have gone on an exponential course for my life. And it's been intense. It's been intense. So yeah, if we look at the 1 hour time frame for Bitcoin, it's looking nice to me. And let me show you what I'm talking about here. Go to the 1 hour. Amazing. And yeah, you just top this off. You can almost say it's a rising wedge about to break out parabolically. It has that type of vibration. 1 hour is bouncing off the 21-day moving average. Some say shoulder, head, right shoulder, double top. I get it. The thing is, a bunch of people are going to rise that double top. I'm trading trend in the fact that we're above the 200 moving average. So this should break out more than it doesn't. Specifically that you had resistance and you bounced off support there. You're also right there. You just did the same thing here. You just bounced off that support there. I hate to put two support lines right next to each other like that. And then you are resetting. You're getting oversold in the stochastic RSI. You're not up here bending down, which tells me you're closer towards the bottom of the reset of this time frame. And so it tells me I should be in a long here with stops below the support of resistance level. You could go right here. You could even use this one right there. You're still at a 3-to-1 risk reward ratio. So yeah, to me, it just tells me to take a long. Right? I can see this long right here on the 5. It almost looks similar on the 5. Right there, stop below the 200 moving average. So I see a scalp on the 5 right now that you could take with your stop below these wicks. I could take, anyone could take. I'm not a fan. And then I see a move on the possible 1 hour time frame that's still in play. Could wait for this candle to close green, right? That would be even nicer, but right now you would be front running the tweezer bottom, you see? Which to me tells me I should based on the 21-day moving average. I don't usually go this hard on a Monday, but this account's also up very nice. This account's up. It was, I don't know, 36, 35. It's at 45,000, right? So I haven't traded this account in a few days. This account, we took oil, gold. Remember, we made all those trades on there. So this one, let's see, we could take this one. I like this right here, what's going on. The target takes you to 77,179, right? The stop would be 72,679. And it may not go my way. You never know. Like, you can never just say, hey, that's 1,800 for 53. It's pretty steep. I'm pretty close to price action. I don't know if I want to be that close, but I do want to make about $4,000. Bitcoin's going to go up. Let's say, it's going to go up about $4,000. I like to make the equivalent of Bitcoin, between 32. I click on this again to make sure that's the exact number. It switches pretty fast. You confirm. And there's the trade right there. And you can see there's your stop. There's your take profit. And I got a trade where I'm above support or resistance, touching the 21. I am front running right now, but I can see this thing moon. And so I added another risk on trade, so there you have it. We got the monthly still cooking. It doesn't stop. Like, we're trading the monthly here, right? This is the monthly trade, looking at it on the monthly. I use different places so I can just not look at it anymore. Like this, I don't want to look at, but we got in on the monthly candle. We're going to ride this thing to 118,000. All right. That would be the most epic trade ever. Like this channel, probably one of the most epic trades this channel ever produces. Like if we rock that. So long term, we just do our thing, They start to come back up. Look, 78,552. Right. I built an AI. That's amazing. I'm going to buy and not stay long as well. Nice outfit, sir, today. Thank you so much, man. We got the Bitcoin tie. And the Bitcoin tie is blue and yellow. We got the blue and yellow pocket square with the Scotty dog, if you see. You want to see little Scotty? Let's see if you guys see little Scotty. And remember, I gave one of these. I had a matching one. Andy, if you're out there, you got the matching Scotty dog, man. Or maybe it was either Andy or Jamie. The other side's really cool too. You can flare the other side out. Look at the other side. The other side's sick. I know you guys don't care. I do though. I like colors and shapes, and the other side's pretty spot on. I can put the other side out and like flare it up. See that? What do y'all think? It's too much, but it's also kind of cool. All right, so far so good on the trade, right? Bitcoin responding to that move. And I'm all the king of 1% over here, right? But yeah, and this move too is playing out beautifully, right? That's how you make 150, the king of 3%. But this one should pay big, so like now I'm starting to see what I like. And look at that beautiful bounce. You're back in position. They cleaned up the late, anyone who kind of longed and didn't have an idea of what to do. Look, they got me. I was up, but I battled them and only lost $26. I was very proud of that. I should have taken the money, but it looked like it was going to rip. Why would I sell something that looked like it was going to rip? Wouldn't mind putting on another trade here. I'm getting very risky, but we just take a gamble. I like what I'm seeing. 77,616. If Trump comes out and says ceasefire, man, You know what's going to happen to Bitcoin. Like, and again, if nothing happens, I think we'll be okay. So like, I don't think it's like one of those, like, it's not like Fed Day where like we're going to bump or dump completely. It does put a little more stress on what could happen, right? And this, I believe Forex Factory has it too, but we'll just double check. Does it say Trump? It doesn't, but he's already announced that he is speaking, right? So, yeah, President Trump speaks at 11:30. So he's about to speak right now. Oh my gosh! So maybe we might tune into that. It looks like we may have to tune into that, folks. As much as sometimes, you know. So let's take a look here. DXY, small time frame, super chat, XRP, and DXY. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at XRP, see what's happening to XRP here. USDT, TT, yes, Maxi. Wow, nice pump for XRP, right? And you can see the same kind of 141 all the way out. So all coins just took a rippage. Absolute rippage here. What happened? You know, I mean, that's like an Adam and Eve, if you ask me. Right? These are Adam and Eves, and Bitcoin kind of got that surge. Took a little stress off the regular market. This, you know, again, I could see this making a move. I'd say about 80% of these break out in my lifetime of watching the market. Like when I tell you something, I'm not just saying, oh, this is what I read in a book. I'm like, this is what I've seen. You know, this is what I've actually seen in my life. Like, I'm an encyclopedia of these shapes, and I've seen so many of them. And look, you got back above this POC in the VRVP. You know, using the VRVP in this gap, that looks interesting. Like, that tells me you could buy right now with the stop below 143 and trade this breakout of the Adam and Eve double bottom. Also seem to have double bottom right there at about 133. I see XRP headed back up to 180. And then if you want to get even nittier and grittier, you just get down here into the 1. It may continue to pump a little bit. Look, there was the flag for it, and it ripped out. Actually has a pretty big measured move. Looks like it may channel all the way to 156 before it slows down here. Yeah, this is starting to look pretty good too. So I don't know, man. Or I do know, but it's looking pretty sweet. All right. I like it. I like it. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for hanging with the lifer and kicking it with me. The strategy is tried and true. Once you got it and lock in, and even if you have a different strategy, jump on in with me. You're going to like what I'm teaching you. You're going to see that it plays out. You're going to see that it's fun. You're going to see that you have a pretty good win rate with it. I'm telling you, man, I backtested it enough to do it publicly all the time, over and over again. Look at this big old red area here, 75,000 too. We're playing order flow. We can see that they got us. It's up there for us. We're not trading emotions. We're not trading what our buddy said. We're not just looking at a tweet and going long because someone else is going long. I'm teaching you guys how to fish for yourself, right? Anyone can teach you, give you a signal and say this is that, but how about we teach you how to trade? So to me, XRP, that was a pretty big pump. Probably likely a short squeeze. It may continue. If you're really keen on it and you want to continue to trade it, I'd look for a flag on the 5-minute time frame. If you've already sold and you're looking just to get in maybe later on, I'd look to wait for this pump to end and watch for it to consolidate again on the 1 hour. It's far for the 21. It's probably going to have to come back down at one point. But yeah, I mean, everything consolidated nicely, similar to Bitcoin. They're above the 21, on the 21, above the 200. Boom. Very simple. Bitcoin runs the show, and if Bitcoin makes a big move, everything kind of mirrors the Bitcoin move. And it just, that's kind of what I see happening. DXY on small time frames. We're going to look at it on the big and the small time frames. So remember when we looked at the DXY and on Friday afternoon, I said, it looks like it's going to pump. I said, they can't pump together. It's not the worst thing in the world. But then look, this morning, the DXY does make a head and shoulder pattern. And then you have Bitcoin pumping as the DXY, pumps down. So that was a good sign. And we got to move. And then altcoins kind of, if the DXY is going to dump, altcoins will take advantage. Big red candle on the DXY. Let's take a look. Is that rejection time for the DXY? I mean, it's right there, kind of out of resistance. It's hit this key area a few times. See right there? This is an area where it does have trouble. Might just come back down to the 21-day moving average here on the daily. It pumped for like 5 days. So it pumped with Bitcoin. What's cool is they pump together, then this could start to fall, and then Bitcoin continues to go up more, right? So it looks like they're correlated, but they're really not. I see the DXY kind of coming down the next 2 or 3 days, which will help us. He said on the smaller time frames. I'm looking at the 5-minute, possible inverted head and shoulder, but it's making what, like a symmetrical triangle, right? These mainly dump to the downside too as well, so I don't know. I'd have to see if the 1 hour is hitting a support or resistance, if there's a key level. Now you did see you got a tweezer bottom here on the daily, on the 1 hour. Hold on here. This is like, let me go back to my daily, even the weekly. So you hit a major weekly resistance coming to overbought. I wouldn't be surprised if you're just in this range. You're going to come right back down to the range here. So here's the deal. If the weekly closes and goes sideways and stays above 99, then we have a pretty likelihood of continuation. But if in the next 2 or 3 weeks we close below 99, it's likely we're coming lower. Now you said the smaller time frames. I don't know, like the dollar index on the smaller time frames to me is like a little fickle, but so many different things can affect it. Yeah, I'm looking at it on the daily and seeing how it's making this like tweezer top. I don't know how that's impossible. Right? It has to be right next to each other, but anyway, it's a glitch. A time glitch or something. To me, it just says you're going to have to come back to the 21 on the daily. It would be wonderful if it comes all the way back and makes this right shoulder. But even so, I see one of these two things happening. But I don't see a continuation pump anytime soon, which is good for Bitcoin and the altcoins, personally. And we've been looking for this type of movement. So interesting. See, like you got rejected there. So I'm happy I didn't go all in just yet here on BTC. Looks good. I mean, the 1 hour looks good. I got to keep repeating that to myself. Like the 1 hour looks good. I would have watched the other time frames. You know what I mean? They're getting in my head too much. I like that below the wick there too. But yeah, that 1 hour candle closes in 26 minutes and 52 seconds. And that will kind of give us the clarity that we're looking for. What is the app to get? You go to the links below my video and you go to BOOKMAP. And you can download BOOKMAP. You can get it. Yeah, and you can get it for a monthly subscription or for the year. It says Trump is talking. I don't see it. The White House does not have a live at the present moment that I can see. So at the present moment, I don't have dibs on it. But I will look for it if... what I actually do is... Yeah. I ask Supercroc every day, is Trump talking? Can you give me the link? And it acts like a personal assistant who will find anywhere on the line and get me the link. Okay. Coins on all exchanges just another all-time low. Could get toyed. I don't know. Oh, what do you mean? I don't know. I don't think so. I usually look at the total crypto market cap and USDT for insight. And TMC has just resized it. Yeah, it's for, yeah. I'll figure it out. He might be live. I'm going to have him live right now if he is. We're going to get there. No, Trump is not speaking live right this second. Yeah. He's scheduled to give remarks
Holding a short press briefing around 11:45. Yeah. Ahead of Kennedy Center board luncheon. The official White House live page currently says, stay tuned. We'll be live again shortly. I'm on the White House YouTube, and I don't see it right now. Send me the link, Rock. Okay, yeah. So I got the official White House live stream. Stay tuned. We'll be live again shortly, right? So we're waiting here. If he does come on, I will have it, and we'll watch the markets together. It might be crazy. Be careful. I think something is. I can sniff some volatility coming right now. It's a Monday. We're in the middle. You know, every day is kind of way more interesting than it used to be. So. I mean, you have to. I don't love war, and I'm not happy for geopolitical unrest. But I will tell you, this is great for traders, bro. Look, we've been making money on the weekends. We've been making money. We've been getting volume back. The last few weeks of trading have not been the same. I've been seeing all my buddies posting gains. And all my other people that have trading groups and trading channels, they've been doing well. Like everyone that stayed consistent has got gains, man. I'm excited to see it. So. 73,800 for Bitcoin, holding key levels. That's a level I don't want to see us lose. This candle will close at 23 minutes. If it closes green, I think that's a confirmation of a long. I already front ran it. We'll see where I end up, right? Weeks is cool. You can go look at the 1 minute and trade the 1 minute and have two separate trades open at the same time. You could, you can have it on isolated, separated. Oh, wow, though. We just got rejected by the 1 minute 200 after a look at what looking like was going to be a follow-through. I like Bitcoin Cash. It's just, the battle, it's not what it used to be. And, the issues with Roger Ver and all that stuff, I think, has kind of scared a lot of people away from it, too, as well. That's just the facts. That's just the facts. Someone says Trump is speaking. Can you get the link, man? Where? I don't see it. I asked Grok just now. Right? C-SPAN. I don't see it just yet. He's going to meet with the Trump Kennedy board. Center board at the White House, right? I still don't have the link. Yeah. Exactly. Someone says they're watching it. Oh, yeah, 100%. Stay tuned. We'll be live again shortly. Yeah. So here we are, man. This is what we're looking at. This controls the markets. What happens to these altcoins, whatever happens to Bitcoin today happens, likely 90% of your position. If you're trading short and this rips up on some altcoin, you're going to get ripped. If you're trading long on an altcoin, you're going to probably get gains. Your altcoin's going to look about 97% like this Bitcoin up, if it's a bigger one with bigger volume. There might be some different ones out there that are smaller, but for the most part, it's going to look very similar to this. All right. Okay, we got it. 11:45. He'll be live. He'll be live at 11:45. All right. Can you show how to do the setting on weeks? You go up here to the right. You click on it. I can't switch when I'm in a trade, but if you were, come up here and you would see isolated, you would see separated. You would see the words and you would click on those words. Okay? Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah, we took a long here too as well, down 150. Forgot about this one. So we're a little over risk today, as you can see. But we'll see. Can you show how to do? Yes, we did, yeah. Oil looking like it could get a pump. Let's take a look at USOIL for a second. With that crude, baby, that hard crude. I want nothing but that crude. I like what you're seeing here. I see what you're seeing for oil. It's staying above the 200 moving average. If it can get tight inside a channel here, it could probably break out. It's crazy. So, nobody knows what's about to happen. He might say something that throws us into a tailspin. He might say something that pushes us out. We don't know what's going to happen. It's kind of interesting. It's going to happen kind of towards the end of our show, which is going to probably extend the show a little bit. If he talks for half an hour, we'll be on until probably a little later. But what is better on weeks? ISO or separate? Poly market 5-minute bet kind of stealing the show for the DJs right now. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, how long will that last, man? It just, We'll take a look at gold for you in a second, too. We want to see this basically look more like a symmetrical triangle that broke down and wants to continue to dump. We don't want to see oil move. We want to see oil roll over here back to the 200. Then we want to see Bitcoin pump. The stochastics are low and curving up. I've seen this, you could say it's getting tighter in a channel. It ain't the worst, right? And that looks like a pretty interesting trade, too. I don't see how I can win my oil and my Bitcoin trade at the same time, but there's a chance I can, right? But I don't know. I don't see how I can, right? 1 hour's looking funky again. I may take a small loss and wait for this thing to position itself better. You don't want to be over risk just because. I love where I'm at, though. Like, I really like the setup. I just don't want, I got a good P&L. I want to keep it clean. I just keep seeing that clean P&L, and I'm like, I want to keep it so clean. Still above the 21. What's my risk, though? Okay. It's 278. Like I was about to say, I couldn't see it for a second. I didn't want to, I want to lose $2,000-$3,000. I wanted to make sure I wasn't over. I'm sticking with the plan, man. That wick of the 200 is just playing around with it, though. The 1 minute doesn't look good presently at the right now. I got to be honest, over here is the 1 minute doesn't look amazing. America is back, baby. America is back. Three minutes to countdown for your man. Or maybe now some people aren't that happy, I get it. I cater to people of all walks of life, so, I'm open-minded to, I'm here for trading. I'm not here for, he was more bullish on crypto, I have to say. If you held crypto, it was kind of like, some people said I was heartless for that. It was what it was, right? Shorting ETH to the 220 zone. That's cool, man. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Maybe ETH takes a short. I don't know. Let's take a look. So let's see what you're shorting, and let's backtest your idea. So the daily's a little overbought. That might be a good idea. It could be a tweezer top coming. You might be front running the secondary red. So you might, 12-hour looks good, though. Whenever these get tight, you usually pump up to the 200, and you pump up viciously. I've seen it many times, so it suggests you may get squeezed pretty bad. Let's see. I'm just kind of going like I'm trying to build a. That is a bear div, right? That swings down while that kind of swings up. But to me, it's. I feel like it might not feel, but it looks to me like it's making some type of parabolic rising wedge. You're going to get some crazy news today. You can just feel it, right? I don't know, man. I don't like to short above the 200. You short below the 200. Like right here, you start shorting. Or when you're very far away from the 21. You're a little close to the 21. You may get it. It may dump a little more down, and then it may do this. It may make an inverted head and shoulder here. And you might win the short down to this area, right? And retest it here. I don't know if it goes lower, though, right? Also, BOOKMAP is screaming that there's liquidity to the upside, but you don't know. There's no, I get it. I'm not saying I'm right every time, man. I'm just, look, you saw my P&L. I was wrong 5 times out of 14. When I was wrong, I didn't lose a lot of money. You see what I'm saying? Or when the trade didn't go my way, however you want to call it, wrong, not my way, probability didn't work out, however you want to, you could describe it kind of a bunch of different ways, right? When you think about it. So here we are, man, at a standstill. It looks like everyone's going to wait for what this guy's about to say. I have to be honest. We know this is a headline-driven market recently. You come out and all of a sudden you hear this dude's going on, who moves, blah, blah, blah. Straight home news is open, Bitcoin bumps. Straight home news is closed, Bitcoin. You know what I mean? It's. And because the news has everything to do with actual geopolitical, like that, if the oil can physically get through, this is real stuff. So and the physicality of the oil moving through changes the environment of the economy. This is just what it is. So we're stuck, and then the fastest we hear this is through headlines. So we're stuck at a headline-driven, as a headline-driven chart and you can see why, right? It makes perfect sense. And this is a unique position to be in. Because I'm usually telling you that, but I still will say, show me the charts, that'll show you the news. The charts are saying that he may be talking ceasefire, man. There's something brewing here. We are in a more bullish setup than a bearish setup at the present moment. Right? So, got to be careful with the heat maps. Orders could be placed. 100% they could be. That's why but this heat map, I've used it. And it's 90% accurate. It's 90% when I've seen red above us, we've gone to it. It doesn't mean we're going to go. This could be one of the times it does. It doesn't always work out. There have been times where I've counter-traded that. I've said, no, I'm shorting anyway. And it's made it to where I've longed when there's been red below. And everyone that was right was right. They didn't get us. For whatever reason, it didn't go that way. So. Isn't oil digital gold, baby? You're funny. Trump's almost no is taco style. You guys are funny. $11.47, still not there. I don't know. Why did someone say it's taco style? What does that mean? 73,550 for Bitcoin. Attempting to see if the president is speaking at the present moment to see what's going to happen to the market as he talks. I still don't have eyes on it just yet. I had C-SPAN up there on another tab. I'm not going to play that. I have my other one, but... Everyone says we're going to start at 11:45. It's 11:48. Someone said he is always fashionably late. It makes sense, right? Get in that Discord, people. Cancel the Netflix 100%, man. Do something that will change your life. Learn with me every single day. I was in a Netflix yesterday. I was sitting with the charts and we made it happen. So, wow, this 1 hour candle is battling. And it could turn red, and then this is a double top. I have to be honest. And this could just start to dump. You can also see it as a twisted shoulder, head, right shoulder when I twist my head. So I always have a stop because I may be wrong. No matter how beautiful it looks, no matter how many times I've traded it long, it may not go my way. It's the saddest thing in trading. It's the best thing in trading because if you can lose, you can win. If you can win, you can lose. You see what I'm saying? And that's the most important thing, right? I'm going to move this to its own window for a second here. And you just have a plan that you're willing to hold no matter what. You got to risk what you're willing to lose. It's really simple. All right. Trades up 750, whatever. It's just, there's money everywhere, man. I vouch for Sammy. My life turned upside down. Literally, my house burnt to the ground. All my trucks, cars inside the garage. I've been able to focus my time. I'm here. And I'm on a 7-day win streak. That's so cool, man. God bless you. I've been able to 2.5x my account and use it to rebuild my life. Thank you. Looks like a duck and quacks like a cow. Must be a Monday. You're funny, man. I like it. I never knew whether they occur. It's only a top, or can it also happen? Yeah. What's going on here? Why hasn't anyone already Spartan kicked you? No, I don't know. What's he talking about? Oh, this is tight, man. It's not on yet, no matter what. Right? News only a distraction. Anyone stick with lifer. True. We're getting a dump here now. Not a fan. Gotta hold the 21-day, the 21, which is, as long as you're above the 21, it's okay. You can do this. But that's why another reason I say I front ran. You gotta wait for that to close. But it did look like we were gonna rip, man. It started to go up. It's all right. We just gotta make sure we don't lose this 21-day moving average. I gotta make sure we don't lose this wick. I can handle you saw the P&L. I can handle the 278 loss. I don't want to, but I can handle it. And I'll reconvene. Look, it had the sessions of a rippage. We can see now that we don't know what's going to happen, and now we don't. Is he going to talk? What's happening? And everyone's sitting in limbo now, right? Yep. I don't know what to say over here, folks. Here we go. They're starting it at least. We got something coming here. We got something coming here. And so the whole market kind of sits in limbo, and as that happens, we get a slow bleed for Bitcoin. And now it looks, if this closes red, you have to start taking this into account, that that's a tweezer top. We may have to close the longs and reconvene and reset. We're not out yet. It hasn't happened yet. We're still, things are okay. We got to just remain calm and just one step at a time, this puppy. What's it going to be like today? Light rain in the afternoon here in sunny Florida, 81 degrees. All right. Absolutely beautiful day to be alive. Thank you, dear Lord, for this interesting life you've given me. I'll take it. It's been an amazing journey. I wouldn't want to be anybody else. Thank you. Tonight will be 53 degrees, which is awesome. Been a long time since we've seen 53, 62, 48, 51, right? So, woman is not looking good. We have tornado warning here. Interesting. 4 hour right before 200 SMA. Yep. No, the 4 hours not. No. No, it's not. Yeah. 4 hours well above it. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like head and shoulder. You're like, you see how it's like rolled over stats. The 5 minutes on the 200 moving average. We got the bounce earlier today too. It was nice. We got a nice move up. I made the, that's kind of the decision I made to get in there when we bounced off the 5 earlier this morning too. 27 in Snowwood in Tennessee. See, I'm not a Spartan or a barbarian, but I am a bien barro, dice Babaela. It's crazy, man. This is what happens in the live. Like, I'm making $5-6 grand on the weekend, and I'll lose, a couple $100 on the live. Lately, the live stream hasn't made as much as the Discord. Sometimes it's the other way around. It depends. Sometimes I make all my money on the live. I don't stress it. That's why you want to just keep sticking with me one day, one step at a time. All right? We can do this together over here. As long as you don't over-risk, you can handle the losses. That's the key. As long as you don't over-risk, you can handle the losses. Once you over-risk, the losses start to get too high and they get in your head. And that's when people crumble. I'm telling you just got to maintain. You got to have a system and say, listen, I'll do this as long as this happens. I'll do that as long as that happens. And stick to the plan. Don't flip-flop your plan. Stick to the plan. Stick to the plan. It's going to take some time as the president, right? It's always going to take an extra 10, 20 minutes over here. But we're waiting to see what he has to say. All right. Thank you for the memberships. I appreciate that. You didn't have to gift those, but you did. God bless you. Fun fact, 8-day uptrend. Last time this happened was in 2020. Thank you so much for saying that. That's pretty cool. We haven't seen something like this in a long time. Let's go. Get the bounce. Let's get some good news. Tightness, rippage, pumpage. There's talks of crypto being talked about. There's talks of a few things here tonight. Right? I like turtles. Hey. So, yeah. So you don't want to go anywhere here. We're about to see some crazy volatility, folks. I didn't get more than 8 inches of snow, but my sister got 3 feet. That's crazy. I haven't seen snow in years, man. So strange. I used to live in snowy Boston. It was snowing all the time. Now, I haven't had to pick up a shovel in a long, long time. Right? I exchanged my shovel for a snorkel, man. And for beach sand. Snow for beach sand. Damn, man, we're struggling on these logs now. Have to kind of close up shop right now. For me, it just... I stay on that 1 hour, though. Still okay. I got to repeat that to myself. Stay calm, but it's a double top at this point. I mean, that's going to dump. The guy's going to win that short. I know what the real Spartan around here. Trump is the OG Spartan around there. Everyone he comes, we can get down. You're funny. Every time he comes, yeah. It's like the second they mention he's speaking, the market already starts getting skittish. It was looking great up until, it's like, come on. Will we really begin shortly? And we wait, man. That's it. Here at 12 o'clock. So, look, I mean, my man said he's short, right? And we were saying, I mean, there is a bear div there. You're at the whims of whatever this man says in the next 10 or 20 minutes, really. If it ends up being bullish, you're going to wick up. This is going to turn into a symmetrical and ascending, and you may wish you never shorted this, but, or you might just be going for a smaller short. If you get to the 21, you could win. Yeah. Hey, Sammy, what's your thoughts on drone? I don't know. I think it's kind of I think the dude pushing it is just kind of pushing it. You know what I mean? I'll look at the charts, but I don't believe it's real. The narrative isn't real. Like, you know what I mean? That guy's like, this is the one that's good. Come on, man. Really? I heard it. I watched this dude on Instagram push it as nonsense. Yeah, drone dominance program or something. Yeah. I mean, I guess if you I don't know. It did retrace to a 618. Like, I just look at the, see, like, or, yeah, it retraced to a 618 perfectly and bounced. There's technicals there, but I don't know. I wouldn't touch it. 2 million in market cap. You know what I mean? Like, back to the previous highs there. The TA says it could happen. And the falling wedge did break out. So, Bitcoin slowly bleeding, man. It looks like that's a double top, man. That's where you usually enter a short. I mean, that's what it is. It's an M pattern. We now have given up on this beautiful. This morning looks so nice. We did get the pumps this morning. We were in the money. Right? Pure doublage. It's almost impossible to trade during the U.S. hours now. I'm really only short of the 21, and you taught me that would it be shorty if I wasn't for you. No, I'm happy you are. What time frame are you doing it on? The 4 hour back to the 21? You're going to short back down to here? Yeah, maybe you get to like 72 too. Yeah, that's how great it is. There's all different skills to be taught here. I'm just going to sit, chill, and be cool because I'm on the 21 now. We could bounce right here. Turn this into like some type of like what looks somewhat like an inverted. Gold and silver looking interesting. You said you like AIXBT. Let's take a look at that. I do see it in a bit of a bull flag there. Touching the 21 of the 1 hour time frame. I've seen these break out many times. You're above the 200. This has a use case. This is like an AI coin. Like, an AI. I've always liked this coin. It never stopped, and it never stopped doing its thing. You can ask it questions, right? It does stuff on X. It's actually very active. AIXBT. And it gives good information. It's been pretty spot on a lot of the times that I've tested what it said. And if anything continues to move, I can see this. This has AI and crypto together, so this has a dual narrative. You can see it's also been moving pretty nicely and holding this trend line. And this, I feel like it's about to either break out or it did break out. See that? Now it's flagging above the previous breakout. I've seen that pump many times. I'd watch this thing. It looks like it could move, man. Thank you for AIXBT. I think you're spot on there. All right. And we'll put this in AI coins back on the radar. Okay, they're going to probably be the ones that start kind of sparking my altcoin section here. And you don't realize how fast this could turn. In the next 2 weeks, we could be trading massive altcoins all the time. They could be ripping again, and we could have all season. I know people don't believe it. They think there's no way it could happen because it hasn't, but it can. It really can. You just got to pay attention. You just got to keep pushing. And when it happens, we're going to be here. See, if we're consistent, we'll never miss it. If we play games, we go back and forth, then yes. So this obviously is taking forever. It's now 12 o'clock. We're waiting for Trump to come on live here. And I mean, I'm going to have to sit here and watch this because the market's going to rip, so I'm not going anywhere anyway. As we held 73,000. Still suggests, BOOKMAP says we're going to rip these shorts to do one, man. I'm not giving up on these longs. I'm not. 76,000 looks like it's coming later on today. He comes out, he says something, boom, boom, boom. We smash the short. It would be just such a beautiful story. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's start this talk here. Let's take a look at Tau and Fetch. Yeah, you're seeing the AI coin starting a bit of a move around the horn. I still own Tau. One of the coins I said, why would you ever sell Tau? I said, I won't, you know. It makes sense to me. It's a real use case. So look, you can see here I gave you Tau, which is so crazy. But there it is right there. An entry right there with a stop below, and that thing ripped past the target and some. Up 26% for Tau. Doing damage. Even a little flag there, it looks like I drew. That's awesome. And you can see when things consolidate, this also has a real use case. I've always liked Tau BitTensor, and I've always owned it since it came out. And was it like $60 was the first time I jumped on in. All right. But you see, I'm giving this call. I'm giving a call, too, on like, what, 3.5 for Tau. Right here in the trading group on 3.5. BitTensor, 2 circled areas, lower risk points to get in. Tau eventually would just continue. I can't believe that. That's amazing. Tau's now all the way back at 287. That's hot. Ripped above the 200 and just got busy. Bit of a slanted Adam and Eve double bottom that it took to the upside for Tau. Bitcoin back to 73,150, holding 73, but look, it closed a red candle now. We front run that as a better option. Now this one has to be the green return. It has to double top or higher low here. Otherwise, it's an M coming to take me down. Right? And I'll have to lick my wounds and reset for the day. But it definitely looks like, I mean, to me, that's a wrap. Then it would bounce, it would get tight, and then I can buy in here somewhere. You know? Once it solidifies that it's making a tighter channel. The markets need you, Donald. I'm waiting on you, man. You got to tell us the truth, baby. Let's go. I hear my jam, baby. Yep. They're always sitting at their tables. 73,200, we sit and we wait. We're at the whims of geopolitical news, folks. I've never seen Trump ever appear less than 40 minutes late. All right. Well, why do they even do it then? Like, they should just be like Trump live sometime over here. You know what I mean? Bitcoin getting a bit of a bounce. Showing signs of life here. Look at this. Off the 21-day moving average. This could save the day. My goodness. This could be it right here. This candle closes green. We got ourselves a chance. We got 55 minutes, of course, to battle through this. But at least we started a wick. Everything going so far off the 21. I like low stochastic. Okay. We're not out yet, baby. We're not out yet. We're back in the game as far as I'm concerned. Arriving at the party fashionably. Yeah, it's funny. Or we're going to see, man, I can't believe it. We got through the show, but we're waiting for Trump to come on. Where are you, buddy? Is anyone at the event that could text me what it's like over there? Old fashioned, it makes you look to keep the world. Wait. Oh, you're funny. Yeah, everyone. Oh, yeah, they're all opening up trades. Yeah, he's like, hold on, we need 10 minutes to get the trades open. Yeah. Yeah, for sure, right? Thanks for everything, Sammy. God bless everybody, man. Thanks for an amazing show. It's not over yet, though. It's not over yet. We're here to cover this. And the 1 hour's got to bounce off that 21, man. We got to get that bounce. I'm tired of winning, I know, right? So much gainitis all over the stream. People calling in for prescriptions everywhere. Can you get rid of my gainitis? Doctor visits all over. Everybody begging for a cure. Nobody has it. I keep spreading it. It doesn't stop. Gainitis. And I'm so sorry again to everybody that has contracted gainitis from me. I apologize. I didn't mean to spread it the way I did, and I just, hopefully you can get yourself cured. If you have a mild case, you should be able to take care of it at home, but if it does tend to get out of control, you might have to go see a doctor. All right? I am not a doctor. This is not medical advice. All right? Gainitis, man. Just let us get paid finally. Come on. Bounce us, baby. Bounce us. Got so many trades riding on this one move here. Can you bounce us, Bitcoin? It's okay, Sammy. Can I have another, please? Thank you. Gainitis just keeps coming, man. So we're waiting here for Trump to jump on in. 12:06. One other thing we could take a look at is the gold and silver charts. Let's take a look at good old gold, baby gold, baby gold. So we traded gold. It looked like it was going to make a move right around somewhere here, and we did get the pump. And congratulations to anyone that jumped into gold with me. I did sell it at about 52.88 area. Went to a high of 54 recently, right, a couple weeks back. But the recent high was pretty close to where we sold, right? Yeah, see 52.45 there, right? So yeah, I sold it somewhere on that. And now if you look at gold on the weekly, in my mind, it's just too far from the 21-day moving average. So it's going to either come back to the 21 or it could level off. If we're going to get a massive dump, if oil is going to reset here and they're going to call off this, they're going to call a ceasefire, then this is going to dump back down, right? Obviously, and reset. But they're still going to print money, and that's still going to continue, and there's still quantitative easing. So you would think somewhere around this level we will get a bounce. So I wouldn't really stress gold right now. I think the best money is a short, possibly back to the 618 at 44,671. All right. Silver. I was a little more bullish on silver a few weeks back, too. Let's see. Kind of needs to get a follow-through red-green candle here, right? So you still got a trend line. Let's take a look. I got a... so you wicked. Wow, you wicked like right on this trend. So you kind of have to get back inside the trend line. And again, like geopolitical unrest is this too, but you'd say like, why does anyone want to stack silver if Bitcoin becomes awesome? If we get back to regular things, if the Strait of Hormuz opens up and nobody cares, then why are you going to stack silver and gold? You know, everyone's going to get back to, oh yeah, that was just if first it's a store of value that saves us all. Next thing you know, it's, oh, that was just a bunch of people acting silly. I love it, man. You know what I mean? The market goes into extreme fear, into just complete calmness so fast between, and people say, oh yeah, whatever, right? I still like, is silver going to pump or dump? I mean, it's interesting. I got to answer this question with some accuracy. You know, the monthly's close at a tweezer top. You're away for the 21. You're very overbought. I think you got to listen to the monthly here. 2-week chart doesn't look too bad too, but you know, so you could do this. I just got to look at the bigger time frames. And it looks like 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10 weeks. And then we're going to be ready for a big pump. That could be a nice bump back to the top of the channel though. So that's what everyone is trying to like, you know, figure out. Yeah, so I mean, I guess it's hard to connect those dots, right? You'd have to do this and say, I mean, it's going to break out soon. Huh. It's very overbought on the 3-day. And the bigger time frame, even if it consolidates, suggests that it may have to do something like they've come back to the top of the channel. Huh. I mean, to me, that is the trend line, though. Like, you hit it and came back down into it. For me, if I was going to trade it, aggressive entry right now, I'd wait for it to break up and do this and make it inverted head and shoulder. But then the bigger picture of that, it's making that weekly, and it's going to come up and do this and then break out. That's what I see happening. So I like it. The entry to me is high risk. It would have to break out and retest there. Again, that would make it would be above the 200. We could flag out above the 200 with the 21, maybe in like 20, I don't know, 3 days, 5 days, something like that. The rich bought the homes cheap, borrowed against them. Bought gold and silver, borrowed against them. Bought oil, selling oil, putting it in crypto right now. Right now is the crypto rotation. You got to have a rotation. There has to be the asset class you can roll in and out of. That's the only way you can continue to stay rich, right? Yeah. Interesting. Bought homes, borrow against it. Bought oil, got against it. Yeah, just keep borrowing against it over and over again. I mean, it can't go bad too, though, when the market shifts. So it's like, it seems perfect, but it's also good to pay things off and to have things kind of solidified, right? So we thought Trump was going to talk. It's now 12:11. And you can see the market is really sitting, waiting for this call. Like, we're sitting ducks right now on this Bitcoin call on the 21. We are on the 21, above the 200. I'm telling you, that's a very, very vicious move here. We should be getting a move, but I also don't like Monday. This is also, the price action doesn't look amazing. We're going to have to make a parabolic move, like run out of here, right? And a bit of a rising wedge on the 1 hour, time frame. So, Mucus is spooking me right now. I know it was, right? It was creepy. 1% chance any all breaks without Bitcoin leading it. Yeah, a few might. Casper looks like it could. Well, usually they're all going to wait for Big Daddy to make that move. They're going to sit and waiting for whatever reason. And Vivate. And Vivate. It would have been nice. We were going to include it. Nice little 15-minute chat. Throw it at the end of the stream, then we were ready to go. They said we have 2-minute warning of the jump being on, right? I'm sticking with 4-year cycle, expecting the bottom to come to the end of this year, right? Only 1-minute chart, both legs starting to freak me out. Let's take a look at the 1 minute on oil, you said. USOIL. That crude, man, that crude, baby, that crude oil. Looks good on the 4 hour. It got a nice bounce just there. Getting tight off the lower channel, getting a bounce. Thank you, dear Lord, for everything you've given me in this life. Thank you for the ability to do what I do. I'm so blessed. I'm so lucky to work from home inside my home studio, to make YouTube work for me, to hit 100,000 subscribers, to get the plaque, to have people that love me and support me and that want to learn from me and actually pay for the education. I think it's amazing. I'm going to continue to give you guys so much insight in real time. Not only teaching you in real time, but giving you insight in real time to see what's happening in the market as it happens. That's how you learn in a Discord. It's really watching as I'm thinking through the trades, like seeing how I'm entering and where, and not just one time, but like over the course of 2, 3, 4, 5 months, watching these. That's how you truly learn. You stick with your mentor for a few months and you really take it in.
Ladies and gentlemen, President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
All right, folks.
No place like the White House. Do we agree? Agreed. Right, Mr. Kraft? No place like the White House. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it. And we'll maybe discuss a couple of general topics. This is a board meeting for the Trump Kennedy Center, but we'll go into a couple of other things that we have the media present. It's always present, unfortunately, constantly. And
People are going to say that.
I'll
all
say
he
a few
does, like-
words about what's happening in the Middle East. And if you have a couple of questions, we'll do that, and then we'll get on with our board meeting. So, thank you very much for being here. We have a wonderful group of very, very smart, talented patriots at this table. Our powerful military campaign to end the threats posed by the Iranian regime continued in full force over the past few days.
He's pumping the second he comes out.
They have been literally obliterated. The Air Force is gone. The Navy is gone. Many, many ships have been sunk. They're warfighting ships, but I guess they didn't know how to use them. And anti-aircraft is decimated. Their radar is gone, and their leaders are gone. Other than that, they're doing quite well. They've been a terror for 47 years, and now I guess the world, through the United States, with the help of Israel, is doing what should have been done many years ago. Should have been done many years ago. Since the beginning of the conflict, we've struck more than 7,000 targets across Iran, and these have been mostly commercial and military targets. We've achieved a 90% reduction in their ballistic missile launches and a 95% reduction in drone attacks. The missiles are trickling in now at very low levels because they don't have too many missiles left. We've also attacked the manufacturing plants where the places
the way
where
he
they
does it.
manufacture
He's
the
just gotta
missiles
love
and
it,
the
man.
drones. And that's going on today. We just hit
Guys.
3 of them today. And it's getting very hard for them to manufacture.
Nobody does it like
More
him,
than
man.
100 Iranian naval vessels have been sunk or destroyed over the last week and a half. That has to be some kind of a record. Additional strikes continue to launch from all directions every single hour. And as you know, we attacked Karg Island and knocked it literally, destroyed everything on the island except for the area where the oil is. I call it the pipes. We left the pipes. We didn't want to do that, but that we will do that. We can do that on 5 minutes' notice. It'll be over. But for purposes of someday rebuilding that country, I guess we did the right thing. But it may not stay that way. Just one simple word, and the pipes will be gone too. But it'll take a long time to rebuild that.
Don't pop the pipes over
We are
here.
aggressively dismantling Iran's defense industrial base and ability to rebuild its missiles and drone capability is getting down to close to zero. And we're hammering their capacity to threaten commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz with more than 30 mine-laying ships destroyed. We hit, to the best of our knowledge, all of their mine-laying ships. Now they can put them on other types of ships, I guess, and drop them in. But we don't know that any have even been dropped in. We're not sure that any have been. That's a big negative for them if they do it. It's a form of suicide. But we don't know that they have dropped any in. But we've hit all 30 of their ships and destroyed them. They're all at the bottom of the sea. We strongly encourage other nations whose economies depend on the Strait far more than ours. You know, we get less than 1% of our oil from the Strait, and some countries get much more. Japan gets 95%. China gets 90%. Many of the Europeans get quite a bit. South Korea gets 35%. So we want them to come and help us with the Strait. We have it in very good shape. The countries, I said, we've already taken care of Iran, but now, because of the fact that literally a single terrorist can put something in the water or shoot something or shoot a missile, a small missile, and it's fairly close range because it is a tight area, and which is one of the reasons they've always used that as a weapon. Iran has always used that as an economic weapon, and it's not going to be able to be used very long. Numerous countries have told me they're on the way. Some are very enthusiastic about it, and some aren't. Some are countries that we've helped for many, many years. We've protected them from horrible outside sources, and they weren't that enthusiastic. And the level of enthusiasm matters to me. We have some countries where we have 45,000 soldiers, great soldiers, protecting them from harm's way. And we have done a great job. And when we want to know, do you have any minesweepers? Well, would rather not get involved, sir. I said, for 40 years we're protecting you, and you don't want to get involved in something that is very minor, very few shots going to be taken because they don't have many shots left. But they said, we'd rather not get involved. I just want the fake news media and everybody else to remember that that was said, because I've been a big critic of all of the protecting of countries, because I know that we'll protect them, and if we ever needed help, they won't be there for us. I've just known that for a long period of time, just like I knew about the Strait, that it would be a weapon, which I predicted a long time ago, predicted all of this stuff. You guys were very generous in that. I predicted all of it. I predicted Osama bin Laden would knock out the World Trade Center. I made that prediction a year before he did it. I said, you better get him. He's a bad guy. I watched him be interviewed one time, and I said, that's a bad guy. You better get him. 1 year before, exactly. I wrote it in a book. You can even check. About a year before the World Trade Center then came down, President Clinton actually had a shot at him, and he didn't take it, unfortunately. I'm not blaming him for that, but he didn't take it. And he ended up knocking down the World Trade Center, but I predicted that too. I predicted a lot of things. We strongly encourage other nations whose economies depend on the Strait for blood. I mean, these people literally need it. 95% of their energy or their oil comes out of the Strait, and they should be in here very happily helping us. And it's incredible. We have such great, we're number one in oil by double now. We drill, baby, drill. We're double any other nation, and it's going to be soon triple any other nation. And that doesn't include Venezuela, who's been great. By the way, the relationship with Venezuela has been fantastic. Millions, literally millions of barrels of oil are being taken out, and it's been a great help, and it's been to their great benefit. The president has done a really good job. We get along with him really well, but we've taken out millions of barrels of oil and brought to Houston and other places to the refineries. We have refineries set up specifically for that, and it's been a great relationship, and more and more is happening. It's a tremendous oil source, and we're stepping it up very rapidly. The big companies are going in, and they will actually, numbers in a pretty short period of time, numbers that they've never been able to do, we'll be doing. There's a lot of oil under that land. We strongly encourage the other nations to get involved with us and get involved quickly and with great enthusiasm. I have that from a number of them, and I'd like to say their names, but frankly, I don't know if they would want me to or not, because maybe they don't want to be targeted. But I say, wouldn't matter if you're targeted or not, because this is a paper tiger that we're dealing with now. It wasn't a paper tiger 2 weeks ago. It's a paper tiger now. So now we're going to get down to the reason. We'll take a couple of questions in a moment, but we're going to get down to the reason we're here today. Actually, this was set up a long time ago. It's the Trump Kennedy Center. Over the past year, we've made incredible strides to restore the true purpose and prestige of this revered institution. Together, we're going to ensure it remains the finest performing arts facility of its kind anywhere in the world. And I don't know that it ever really reached that stage, but it will over a period of time. We're rebuilding it. It's in very, very bad condition. It's been it's been somewhat of a disaster, to be honest with you. It's been let go to hell. That's what they've done.
Chat is so
Poor
funny,
job.
man. Who said I'm about
They
to
spent
cry?
money in the wrong
I
places.
love this chat. This chat's
They
so
built
funny.
some theaters underneath that nobody uses, little ones, tiny theaters that cost $300 million. And the money was spent incorrectly, wrong. We're dealing with some networks on the possibility of renting
I don't
those
wanna
little
win
theaters.
anymore. You
Nobody's
guys
going
are
to
so
use them. They want the big halls. The halls are going to be incredible. They're in bad shape, but when they're completed, the bones are potentially something that could be unbelievable. So I want to, before we begin, I want to thank Rick Grinnell. He's been a friend of mine for a long time. He's been unbelievable. He was the ambassador, as you know, to Germany. There was no happier woman in the world than Angela Merkel. Angela. She called me, thank you, sir, thank you.
Angela.
Although she liked Rick a lot, there was nobody happier that he was no longer going to be the ambassador to Germany. He was difficult for them. He was not your typical ambassador. He was the opposite.
You gotta love it, man.
He would do
That's
what
gonna
was
get
best
people
for the
pissed.
United
Watch.
States, not for Germany.
It's a
And I wanna
polarizing
tell you, he
super
did a
chat. God
great
bless
job.
you.
So
Thank you,
good
man.
that I put him in charge of a thing called
Thank you for
intelligence.
the super chat.
And something he didn't really want to do, but he did it, and he did it incredibly well.
73.5 is what we really
There were
need to
a
get
lot
back
of leakers.
above.
He
And we
found
can
out the
get this
leakers.
party started again.
And when he didn't find out who the leaker was in a certain area, he fired everybody. And he went into one room where there was leaks coming out. These are long-term problems that these various places have had. And he said, who's the one that leaked this? And they wouldn't admit it, so he fired the whole room. And he did a good job, I'll tell you. He was very good. And during this transition period, I asked Rick if he would run it, because we wanted to see. And if you remember when we first took it over, I didn't do it with enthusiasm. I did it because somebody had to do it.
He said
Had to
Angela.
turn it around.
He
'cause it
said
was failing. It would have
Angela.
closed, and physically it would have almost fallen down. It was in very bad shape. The steel columns outside, as an example, were meant to be covered. You know, exposed steel is unusual to have in building. What I do best in life is build. I build buildings really well and under budget and ahead of schedule. That's what I do, unlike the Fed building, which is going to cost billions of dollars. It may never open. I mean, right now, we have a wonderful Kevin, a wonderful new head of the Fed coming in. I don't know if he'll ever be able to occupy this complex. It was destroyed by Jerome Too Late Powell. I call him too late because he's always too late with interest. Should cut interest rates. He should cut them right now. They should have a special meeting. What's a better time to cut interest rates than now? A third grade student would know that. But that's a terrible thing. But what I do is build. I build great stuff. And what we're going to do is, right outside. In fact, if you look behind me,
He
see the
called
nice
Jerome
gold
Powell a
brick?
3-year-old, man. No, an 8-year-old.
If you want to look into a nice
9-year-old, third grade,
foundation,
9-year-old.
and you want to see a lot of work, very deep, very, very deep for specific reasons, we have a magnificent ballroom being built, because this is the biggest room, and it holds like 98 people for dinner. But behind me, you're going to have a ballroom that this building and the people occupying it, in particular, every president for 150 years has clamored for a ballroom, a large, beautiful room. This is a cocktail room, and this whole floor will end up being a cocktail room for the cocktail area or pre-area for the ballroom before dinners. So we'll have heads of state. We can't even do a heads of state dinner. Usually what they do is they would do them on the lawn with a tent. But when it rains, the lawn is very low. And you know the land in Washington. It was built on swampy, wet land. And when it rains and you have the king of Saudi Arabia, we have as an example the king of the UK, I would say king of England, who's a great guy. He's coming in very soon. And when it rains, you know what happened? The rain would go over their feet. It would be about 4 or 5 inches over their shoes. This was not good. So, and it rained a lot. So we're building, finally, because I do that. And by the way, no taxpayer money. I want to put that, zero. It's going to be, it's on time, on budget. It'll be under budget. Be literally, we're having it under budget other than we've upgraded it in terms of the marbles we're using. We're using onyx and stones that are incredible. But it'll be something really spectacular. I'm looking at Mr. Steve Wynn, who's over there. He built a spectacular building, and he knows Trump builds a spectacular building. I build better buildings than him. I don't care what he said. But Steve is over here, and he really, with his incredible wife, Andrea, and thank you both for being here. Andrea's on the board, and Steve is so in love with his wife, he asked whether or not he could come. And I can say the same thing for the great Bob Kraft. He's got a wife that's so wonderful. He said, do you think I could come? She didn't have to accept that, you know. She could have said no. But Bob said, I would like to come. So, Bob, we will not let you vote, although his vote would be a good vote. He will vote for the proper thing. But it's good to have you both here. These are two great couples that know a lot about the things I'm talking about, like fixing, whether it's building a stadium or building a building. We know they know how to do it. So thank you, Steve, very much. But
even though I build better
we made
buildings,
incredible strides over
like,
the
why
past
say it till like
year. If you remember, I said I want to run it for a year just to see, because the place is falling down. It's horrible. Air conditioning, heating is going to be ripped out in its entirety, and it needs new. It's old. It's, how many years is it, Rick? What's the total? 50, almost, yeah, over 50. And we have 50-year-old air conditioning, more than that, actually. And it's in bad shape. Everything's in bad shape. It's got to be redone. So I said, let's run it for a year just to see how it works. It's better than, you can't just go into something and try and figure it out. And we figured it out over the year. And you have to close it, putting new marbles in, beautiful, beautiful marbles. When you do marbles, you can't have people walking over the marble every night as it's drying and setting and going to a play. So we thought the best way, what I know best in the world is construction. The best way to do it is close it, do it properly, and reopen it, have a grand reopening. And when it's finished, it's going to be far better than it was when it was originally built. When it was originally built, it was good. It has one thing that's very good. It has great sound. I think there's a lot of luck in sound. You have some of the big opera houses. I don't want to get involved with saying which one, but in New York, as an example, where the acoustics were never good, and they've ripped it apart 4 times and rebuilt it, and it was never good. The good thing about the Kennedy Center, the acoustics are good, and they'll only be enhanced based on what we're doing. A lot of it has to do with the stones and the stones you use, the marbles you use, et cetera. Over the past year, we've made incredible strides to restore the true purpose and prestige that this building will soon gain, I think, at a higher level than it had before. Together, we're going to ensure it remains the finest and will become the finest performing arts facility anywhere in the world. It's got the location, and it will have the building. It's got good bones. It's got good structure. Again, they wanted to originally cover the exposed steel. It was painted a cheap gold.
Getting the palm.
And we turned it into a very expensively painted white, very heavy coat of very powerful white paint meant for steel, exposed steel. A very different kind of paint, but it's almost like putting a stone over the top of it. And the color is white, shiny white, and it looks, a lot of people have commented, it looks so much better. Before they had the steel painted gold, and the gold was very cheap. There's actually never been a paint that's made that will look like gold. Steve will tell you that. You either gold leaf it or use real gold bullion or you use a different color, Steve. Nobody's ever been able to make a gold paint that looks real. Little minor thing for the media. I'm sure you're thrilled with hearing that. But there's never been a paint. I said someday I'm going to discover a paint where you don't have to actually use gold leaf. Gold leaf is a very, very big and expensive process, but it's a beautiful thing. But
Thank you,
not
Chris.
when
God
use
bless you,
paint.
bro.
So we got rid of the gold columns, which looked always terrible. They looked cheap and they looked fake, very much like the media, actually. And we took the columns and we painted them white. Before we painted them, Matt, very importantly, we structuralized them. We replaced bad steel that was very badly rusting. I mean, these are columns that are holding up a building. And we had to replace areas of columns that were actually rusted out because it was in very bad shape. It's not even describable how bad this building was, both inside and out. I want to thank Rick Grinnell, but you really did a great job, Rick.
The key is that the 1 hour is
I'm looking for the
bouncing off the 21.
your next venture, because he really was. He was. You know, there was a story he got fired. He didn't get fired. He was here for a short period of time, for a year, figuring it out with Matt and everybody else. And Matt now is going to take over, and he's a pro at construction, great at construction. And I think Matt would like to run the facility too. He's fallen in love with it. And I think he'd do a good job. But if I don't think he will do a good job, I'll say, Matt, you're fired. I'm getting somebody else. So you're under no pressure, Matt, okay? It's like Bob Kraft. If a football player doesn't perform well, typically you will fire him immediately, Bob. Do you ever let them stay around for 4 or 5 years if they're bad? Not too many times, right? So anyway, I learned from you. So I want to thank also Attorney General Pam Bondi, who's been fantastic. I don't know, is Pam here someplace? Oh, hello, Pam. Good. She's been great. And the Speaker of the House, he's got the easiest job of anybody in government. He's got a majority of 2. I don't like to say 1 because it varies, but between 1, 2, and 3. And I think you're the only man that's ever lived that's able to be very happy about it. In fact, when we get up to 3, you know, every once in a while we get up to 3. Actually, for a period of time, we had it up to 4, and then we had a death. And death is very bad when you're the Speaker and you have a majority of 2 or 3. But we had a death, and then we had another death, and we had some things, and but we're looking very strong. We had one man who was very ill. It looked like he wasn't going to make it. I don't know. I won't mention his name. Should I? Do other people know his name? Do you want to mention it? He'll be proud. Go ahead. Tell him the story.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. President. Congressman Neil Dunn of Florida had some real health challenges, and it was very serious, and had a pretty grim diagnosis. And I mentioned it to the president, and I said, Congressman Dunn is a real champion and a patriot because he's still coming to work. And if others got this diagnosis, they would be apt to go home and retire. And
What
spend
was
time
the
with family.
diagnosis?
It was, I think it was a terminal diagnosis.
He would be dead by June.
Okay, that wasn't public, but yeah, okay, that's, it was grim. That's what I was going to say. I don't think
With
he
a
would
heart
mind.
problem, by the way. This was a heart problem.
So, long story short, the president called him to encourage him and thank him, and they had a conversation. And the president mentioned in the course of the conversation, you know how to get my doctors involved, and they did. And within a number of hours, they took him to Walter Reed Emergency Surgery. The man has a new lease on life. He acts like he's 30 years younger, and he walked into the conference meeting, and we thought we'd seen a ghost. And I spoke with him over the weekend, and he's encouraged and thankful, and he thanks the president for his leadership and intervention. And thank you.
He
It was
actually
amazing.
called Mike called me and he
Save that dude's
said,
life.
"Sir, we're up by 3, but we're going to lose 1 by June." I said, "Who?" "Neil Dunn. He's a great congressman.
He literally saved a
Incredible."
man's
He called to
life
say that he was terminal,
for majority leadership.
really bad heart.
But I mean, he
There's
did.
nothing they can do. I said, "That's bad. Number 1, it was bad because I liked him. Number 2, it was bad because I needed his vote." But he really said,
Hey, he mentioned it. He said
"Mike,
it both.
I'm going to last this out for the president and you, and however long I live, I mean, it looks like June is the time, but however long I live, I'm going to I'm going to be voting for you. I mean, how many people are going to say that? Most of them are going to say, Mike, I'm retiring immediately. That's the end.
He's an extraordinary
But
man.
he didn't do that. It was really impressive. And then I realized I have doctors in the White House. The White House
1 hour's
doctors
back
are
on that
incredible.
beautiful pump off
And-
the 21. That's all we
and
need,
they've helped
folks.
me with other people.
We need to hold
Helping
this
me
higher
with
low.
people
This
right now.
turns into
People
a
that are very
flag.
sick or like they're
My
miracle
original idea
workers.
plays
And I
out.
said,
We
I
all get
have to
so
call
paid
them. And
today.
I called the two doctors. They're both great. And they immediately went over to see the congressman. And he was on the operating table like 2 hours later.
Yeah.
And
That's
it
crazy.
was a long operation. They gave him more stents and more everything that you could have. I think he's got everything that you could possibly have. And they called up. They said, sir, I think he'll be fine. I said, you got to be kidding. He said, I think he'll be fine. And Mike was telling me the story that the other day he came into a meeting for the first time in a long while. Go ahead.
Well, it was incredible. I mean, he has a new lease on life. He has more energy than a man half his age, and very encouraged and encouraged all of us. So, again, a testament to great leadership. And he's, my hat's off to Neil Dunn and his beautiful wife and family. He's an extraordinary individual.
And just, you know, because I don't want to have a terrible story about this, I did it for him first and for the vote second. But it was a close second, actually. But I did it for the vote
He ain't lying.
second.
Like, nice pump for Bitcoin.
I want to
here.
also
This is what we're looking for,
introduce Susie Wiles, who's fantastic. She's our chief of staff, and she's an amazing person, an amazing fighter, and she announced a minor difficulty, which will be in good shape for, he'll be around for a long time. She had a diagnosis, you probably saw it, and she's going to take care of it immediately, as opposed to waiting. She said, let's do it now. I said, do it immediately, because with that particular ailment, the faster the better. That's the only thing I know about it. The faster the better. She's going to do it immediately. So she just started, actually, and she's going to be in great shape. The prognosis there is excellent, beyond excellent. So,
Thank you, sir.
but who needs it, right?
That's right.
Who needs it? So before we took over, just a year ago, the
Guys
legendary,
saving lives over here.
this wonderful place was
Straight up.
on the verge of, literally on the verge of
Look at all that
collapse.
liquidity. They're going to go up to
Both
76,000.
from a financial
man.
standpoint.
I'm not giving up on these
maybe
longs.
more from a financial
Not doing
standpoint, but also from a physical standpoint.
Nice double bottom.
Necessary maintenance has been ignored. The programming was very woke and out of touch with reality. And we had an orchestra that lost like $18 million a year, and they subsidized it every year. So what kind of an orchestra loses 18? And I'm being nice when I say 18, it was much more. And I started looking at the programming. They had tremendous union difficulties, like 19 different unions, and driving everybody crazy. And I think the unions are going to be great. I've always gotten along with unions. As you know, I got great union support. But you had 19 unions. Every time somebody wanted to put on a play, they had to deal with 19 different groups of people. And it's they say it was like Broadway, but worse. And you don't get worse than Broadway when it comes to the unions. I've watched that for many years. The programming was terrible. And they had a budget deficit of about $26 million minimum. Owed a lot of money, were out borrowing money, which is a lot of people don't understand. So under the leadership of this exceptionally talented and rich board, it's a very rich board, not everybody, but most of you are loaded. Ike Perlmutter's got so much money. Look at Ike Perlmutter. He ended up being the largest owner of Disney. Started with, was it $100 or less? It was a little less, Ike, right? He didn't speak English, and he became the largest owner of Disney. Right? But then they went woke and he sold the stock. He didn't like Mickey Mouse being woke, right, Ike? But he's one of the most brilliant business people. Thank you, Ike. It's great. And Lori, thank you very much for being here. So I think it's Lori that's on the board, though, right, Lori? What's with these husbands? All the husbands are traveling. I think it's the White House. I got all the husbands with the wives. That's never happened. Boy, oh boy, what great relationships. My wife is going to have to speak to me. This is pretty good. The biggest guys in the country travel with their wives to come to a meeting. But it has something to do with the White House, right, Ike? Right? You don't want to see me. You want to see the White House because it's a special building. But thank you. And congratulations on an amazing career. Most people don't know Ike Perlmutter. Isidore Perlmutter, and started with nothing and built a vast fortune just by deal after deal. Did you ever have a bad deal, like? Which was that? Don't tell. See how honest he is? Most people would say no. He says one, and it couldn't have been very bad. Great to have you. So under the leadership of this board, which is, as you see, incredible, we're achieving a very dramatic and quick turnaround. We got rid of all of the DEI. Some of the news media loves DEI, but we got rid of it. Maybe you're right. Brought back patriotic and family-friendly programming, and last year we raised over $130 million to keep this place going. Otherwise, it would have been closed. The building, let's call it the Kennedy Center from
baby.
that time.
The 8-hour,
was
200 moving
losing
average.
so much money. It
That's
could
where this
not
run will
have,
end. That's where
stayed
you want to sell.
alive if we didn't come in as a group of people and a lot of wealthy people that made a
BOOKMAP
lot
says
of
it too.
contributions.
It's not a coincidence.
So with the Trump Kennedy Center honors alone, we raised this year a record $23 million, which was double what they had ever done before, with $23 million. There's still much to do. The previous management left us a facility in very bad condition. Abysmal is the word, and everything from busting pipes and leaks to serious electrical and structural problems. And some of it we fixed, but most of it we're saving for during the construction period because we'll do a much better job of it that way. Major renovations are required to keep the facility functional, and that'll start right after July 4th. We're going to have a little bit of a celebration.
Nice
Not a
pump
big
here for
deal, but a
Bitcoin.
little
Let's
bit
go,
of a
folks.
celebration on July 4th. We'll have a little party.
We get
And
back
then
above the
after that,
200
we
to the 1
close,
minute.
and
We're
we
in
start
action.
construction. We're fully financed.
at
As
this.
I announced in February, after a one-year review based on input from highly respected experts
That's a pump.
and subject to board approval today,
Boom.
we determined
75K.
it's a little late for the board because we've already announced it, but these are minor details, but I think everybody agrees. But subject to board approval, we determined that the fastest way to bring the Trump Kennedy Center to the highest level of success, beauty, and grandeur is to cease the entertainment operations for a 2-year period of time as we complete high-quality, really high-quality construction. We've already purchased seating, as an example. We've already purchased a lot of the marbles and some of the things that are hard to get. Getting quality
Sounds like he
marble is
ain't
very
leaving
hard.
anytime soon.
Takes
you know
a
what I
long time. It comes from areas where it takes a long time to mine.
Nah, you never know.
And we're
though.
getting some of the best
Or he just
things
loves
you
his
can.
country.
The
He wants to
marble
make it
is
look
gonna be
amazing.
incredible.
After he dies, he wants it to be his legacy.
The seats that we have, the seating is the highest level. Everything is the highest level. So this temporary closure will enable us to complete the work much faster and much higher quality. As an example, it's hard to show Shakespeare when you don't have any seats. As the seats are being changed, it's not exactly a great experience for people. So the right way to do it is just close it and fix it and open it. We'll begin right after, as I said, July 4th celebration. And thanks to the great, big, beautiful bill, we are fully funded, ready to go. And we have tremendous amounts of money coming in from some people around the table, but also from people that are not here, but that have made very generous contributions toward the Trump Kennedy Center. People that have never given to it before and would never have given it except I asked them to give. So, Rick, I thank you very much for the job that you've done, and I'm delighted that you really are. You did a great job. It was a little rough with a couple of the people, but that's okay. They've survived. Some of the artists, they took a pounding from Rick. It's almost like this guy right over here, Anthony. He knows what it is to pound people.
Oh my
right,
God.
Ike? Anthony knows. Anthony's another great. You're not on the board either, Anthony.
doesn't
You're
sound
here
right.
with your wife?
This doesn't sound right.
What's going on here? The most successful people, they're all here with their wives. I'm looking around. Wow, that's impressive. Anthony's another one. He started off with one truck.
I was pumped for Bitcoin.
He had one truck 45 years ago. He ended up with 4,000 trucks, and he sold his company for billions of dollars. And you're here, Anthony? He's a member of one of my clubs, and all he has is cash. He said, I have a big problem, sir. What? I don't know how to invest my cash. Most people have a problem. They don't have any cash, right? Anyway, thank you, Anthony. You're the greatest. So all of these people have done so much, and they've done so much to help. And, Matt, I just really, I'm here to a certain extent.
Let's
to wish you
pound
good
the
luck with
markets for
everything
once, right? Yeah.
and to introduce you to the board.
Nice pump. 737
Many
is
of the board
nice.
know because Matt's been running a lot of the initial construction and planning, and going to be assuming the role of Chief Operating Officer and Executive Director, where he'll lead a construction crew for the next, a big crew, by the way, because it needs a lot of work, for the next 2 years in preparation for the grand reopening. And I think it's going to be something that's going to be very, very special. We're doing a lot of special things. We have a lot of things happening. We have at the front of the White House on June 14th, you probably read, UFC is going to be here. Dana White, the great Dana White, he's building a, literally a stadium, a 5,000-seat arena right outside the front door of the White House. And they're going to have about 100,000 people in the park right across the street, where he's building, I believe, 8 massive screens for people to watch, free, all free, for people to watch. It's June 14th, happens to be my birthday, and that was only by happenstance. It was not planned that way, but it's a Sunday night, which they never did. Sunday night's super prime time. It's going to be broadcast on CBS, which is the Ellison family, 2 great people. Great people. It's a great family. And it's going to be a tremendous event. And we have Roger Penske is going to have IndyCar here. We're going to have a race around the Capitol. That's going to be in August. So we have that. And we have a tremendous number of things. We have the Olympics, we have the World Cup, and we have the 250. And as you know, I was responsible for getting the Olympics. Actually, Bob Kraft helped me. And he helped me with the World Cup, too. You were very good. Who could be better, right? But he helped with the Olympics and the World Cup. But we have the Olympics coming. I was responsible for that, right, Bob? We have the World Cup coming right now, and I was responsible for that. Then we had a rigged election, and because of that, I was always very upset.
Bitcoin
when I got
pumping.
the Olympics, I said I won't be president because it was last term.
Trades flipping green.
If I went by the normal progression.
Money flowing.
And then I said, well, let's see what happens. And then they rigged the election.
Straight up 400,
And I said, let's do it again. And we won in a landslide. And I came back and I ended up with the Olympics and the World Cup. Somebody said, did you do that on purpose? So I claimed the Olympics and I claimed the World Cup because I
840.
did get both. And then I tried to claim.
Nobody cares that you got the.
250
I love you,
year
Trump.
celebration.
Man, come on, man.
I said, I got that. They said, no, you didn't.
He's
that one
funny.
you
I
didn't
guess
get.
that's
They're
funny.
giving me no credit for that one, Mr.
Yeah.
Speaker. I couldn't.
Got it. He
So
got
I
it.
gave up on that one quickly. That wasn't working. It wasn't working. But I just want to thank everybody. This board has been incredible, and it's really nice. What we're going to do is we're going to we could take a few questions from the press, and then after that we'll have our meeting, and we have a little lunch for the board. So we'll have a little bit of a lunch, and it's an honor to have you all here. It's so many of you, Jimmy. So many of you are friends. It's a great honor to have you here, and we're going to do a great job with the Trump Kennedy Center. Okay, yes, please. CNN. Hey.
Nah.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm not CNN, I'm Daily Wire, but thank you for
ahead.
the question. Numerous countries have told me they are on their way. Can you give us a hint what they are, what that entails, how soon they might be there?
You mean who are the countries?
Yes, sir.
I'd rather not say yet, but we'll be announcing Marco Rubio and the various people that are doing that will be announcing. And I have to tell you, we have some that are really enthusiastic. They're coming already. They've already started to get there. You know, it takes a little while to get there. It's like, in some cases, you have to travel.
I like this. I'm
An
long,
ocean.
guys. You see I'm long.
So it doesn't go
I'm
that
long
fast.
all over
but
the board.
It'll go fast. And we have some that are fairly local that are doing it. But we'll give you a list. Some are very enthusiastic and some are less than enthusiastic. And I assume some will not do it. I think we have 1 or 2 that will not do it that we've been protecting for about 40 years. At,
Just pound us already. Somebody
tens of
said it's
billions
crazy.
of dollars, Mr. Speaker. So I'll be reporting that to you in the House and the Senate, and I'll say, why are we protecting countries that don't protect us? And I've always felt that was a weakness of NATO. We were going to protect them, but I always said, when in need, they won't protect us. Now, this isn't need. need would be one of the big boys. But I will say that we built the greatest military in the world, and we protect people. And if we need their mine boats, or if we need anything, any piece of apparatus that they may have because of a situation that they have,
They better give it up.
they should be jumping to help us, because we've helped them for years stay out of wars. Yeah, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Can you tell us if you spoken with French President Macron about the coalition to reopen the Strait of Hormuz? Have you been speaking with the French President?
If you
What
speak to
does that mean?
Macron,
Have you been speaking with the French President Macron about the coalition to reopen the Strait of Hormuz?
Yeah, I have spoken to him. He's been on a scale of 0 to 10.
he's been a 2.
I'd say he's been an 8.
Okay.
Not perfect, but it's France.
Are you
Oh,
We don't
confident?
expect
man.
perfect.
Are you
Oh, man.
confident that France will help with the reopening of Strait of Hormuz?
Yeah, I mean, sure.
He's
He's
a-
gonna. I think he's gonna help. I mean, I'll let you know. I spoke to him yesterday. I don't do a hard sell on them, because my attitude is, we don't need anybody. We're the strongest nation in the world. We have the strongest military by far in the world. We don't need them. But it's interesting. I'm almost doing it in some cases, not because we need them, but
Out of
because I want to
charity.
find out how they react. Because I've been saying for years that if we ever did need them, they won't be there. Not all of them, but they won't be there. I was very surprised with the United Kingdom, because the United Kingdom, 2 weeks ago, I said, why don't you send some ships over? And he really didn't want to do it. I said, you don't want to do it. We've been with you. You're our oldest ally. And we spend a lot of money on, NATO and all of these things to protect you. I mean, we're protecting them. We're working with them on Ukraine. Ukraine's thousands of miles away, separated by a vast ocean. We don't have to do that, but we did it. Well, Biden did it. I mean, I have to be honest with you. Biden got taken to the cleaners. But we worked with them in Ukraine. We don't need to work with them in Ukraine. And then they
You're
tell
allowed to-
us that
Shout out to Scottish
we
crypto.
have a
man.
mine
Funny.
ship around, and they don't want to do it. I think it's terrible. No, I was very surprised. I told him, we requested 2 aircraft carriers, which they had, and he didn't really want to do it. And then right after the war essentially ended, meaning they were obliterated, he said, I would like to send the aircraft carriers. I said, I don't need them after the war has ended and won. I need it before the war. So I was very upset not upset, I was not happy with the UK. I think they'll be involved, yeah, maybe. But they should be involved enthusiastically. We've been protecting these countries for years with NATO, because NATO is us. You can ask Putin. Putin fears us. He has no fear of Europe whatsoever. He fears the United States of America and the military that was built by me in the first term. Yeah.
President, you mentioned the significant amount of oil that China derives from the Middle East. What is the status of your conversation with President Xi in terms of getting China to cooperate, in terms of making the Strait of Hormuz safe for those oil tankers?
Yeah. So China is a great example. They get 91% of their oil from the Hormuz Straits, which we protected for years. And it always bothered me that we have these countries. Japan gets 95% of its from the Straits, the Hormuz Straits. And it always bothered me that we're protecting and we don't need them. We didn't need them before we started dig we must. Dig me must, that's the Trump policy of lots of oil. And
The odds of
we
a
didn't use them very much. It used to be at 10%. Now it's at almost 0. We don't need, we don't need oil. We have all the oil we need for ourselves. It's one of the great assets that we have. We have more than double what anybody else in terms of oil production. We're at more than double any other country. So we don't need it, but we did it. It's almost, you could say we did it out of habit, which is not a good thing to do. But we did it because we have some good allies there. We have some great Middle Eastern countries there, Israel there. So we did it for a lot of reasons. But it always amazed me that we did it. We never asked for reimbursement. And it was really there to serve other countries, not us. And by the way, we have the Sugar King, the same story. Look at that. Alfie Van Hoel. Alfie, thank you both very much. Huh? That's Pepe, yeah. Pepe. Hi, Pepe. How are you? How are you? Is Alfie in the backstage? Huh? Is he sitting back there waiting for you? No? You doing all right? Pepe is a great friend of all of ours, I think, in the room. Tremendous. And we appreciate you being here. Great to have you. Thank you.
Mr. President, honored.
That's great. Both of you. Thank you very much. So go ahead, please.
Mr. President, you've said that Iran does want to make a deal. Now, into the third week of this bombing campaign, what would that deal look like? What are the asks that you're making of the
They
government?
want to make
of
a
Tehran?
deal. They're talking to our people.
Yep.
I don't know if they say that to you. Maybe
Ooh, I
they
like
do,
this pump
maybe they
now.
don't forget.
21 cross the 200. That's my go-to
they
signal.
Are a country that for years, I didn't know this until recently, they're a country based on disinformation. And now they're using disinformation plus AI. And that's a terrible situation. That's a terrible situation. They showed all sorts of things happening in the last 2 weeks that never happened. Between their kamikaze boats that don't exist, between blowing up the aircraft carrier, one of the great ships in the world, the Abraham Lincoln, on fire. They showed it on fire. I called the general. I said, General, what's with the Abraham Lincoln? It looks like it's burning down. No, it's not burning down. Not a bullet was ever fired at it, sir. They know better. I said, this is my first glimpse of AI and what they've done with it. They showed buildings in Tel Aviv burning to the ground, high-rises burning. They showed buildings in Qatar. They showed buildings in Saudi Arabia burning, and they weren't burning. They weren't hit. It was all AI-based. Terrible. It's terrible. And that's their only, I think that's the only thing they do well. They're negotiating. And we always talk. When, somebody said, well, would you talk? Why would you even talk to them? I talk to everybody because sometimes good things come out of it.
Yep.
But I don't know if they're ready yet. They're taking a pounding.
He loves this word, man.
And we don't even know.
I should have bet on Polymarket. How many times are you going to say
their
pounded?
leaders are dead.
Pounding, like, you know what I mean? Like, made
As far
mad
as we
money.
know.
Like,
But they're all dead. We don't know who we're dealing with. We knocked out the first group. Then the second group met, 88 met to pick the leader because the first group was all dead. And the second group got knocked out. They're all dead. Then the third group met. I would think they're a little nervous about meeting. I don't know if they're nervous. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're crazy. If they're not nervous, then they're crazy. But we met with the next group. But we don't know who their leader is. We have people wanting to negotiate.
This is great,
We have
man.
no idea who they are.
this is amazing.
Yeah, please, Peter.
What are your advisors telling you about the Ayatollah's son, the new supreme leader? What are they telling you
Well,
about
it's
him?
not only them, it's you people. I mean, a lot of people are saying that he's badly disfigured. They're saying that he lost his leg, the one leg, and he's been hurt very badly. Other people are saying he's dead. Nobody's saying he's 100% healthy. And he hasn't spoken because the Ayatollah would sit and he'd spew hate from a form of a throne. Not as nice as a throne. I like the English throne much better. But it was a fancy chair. But he'd spew hate from his chair. But you'd see him a lot, right? This one, we haven't seen at all. So that could be for a lot of different reasons. We don't know if he's dead or not.
Now it's kind of, I don't like that move there.
Now that you've announced,
I will say this, nobody's seen him, which is unusual.
something else. Now that you've announced that the U.S. has destroyed all of Iran's mine-laying ships, why can't the U.S. just immediately reopen the Strait of Hormuz?
Well, we could, but it takes two to tango. We have to get people to take their billion-dollar ship and drive it up. If when Pepe has his big sugar ships coming around and they cost $1 billion, and we say, I think it's okay now, Pepe, take your ship, drive it through the Strait of Hormuz, he may say, let me wait a little while, because it takes ship owners, and these ships are very expensive. They could cost up to $2 billion. So they don't want to take a chance that, gee, I think you'll be okay. They got to know it. So they don't have to set, we don't know if they even set any mines. But the thought that they may have is enough to keep people from saying, we don't need it. Now,
Gotta hold this
we
double
are
bottom.
pounding
Stay
that
above the
area,
200.
that coast.
The pounding is
As
coming.
you know, left side. We're pounding it, like really pounding it hard.
I just
Again,
why?
they may have no mine set. We hit every one of their mine drop. They call it the mine layers, right? The ships. They're pretty sophisticated ships. Every one of them is gone.
We just keep pounding
But
him, Mike.
it only takes one. So it's a little unfair. You win a war, but they have no right to be doing what they're doing. But we're hitting them very hard. And today is a big day. We're pounding a certain area that has very much to do with the strait. And I think we'll get it going very soon. In addition, we do have other nations coming in.
It does. Every
people
time he
to
says
watch and
pounding,
people to see. We have other nations
Bitcoin does
coming in.
tend
Yes,
to pump. It's not even a joke.
If the United States is working to secure the Strait of Hormuz for the benefit of other countries like China, and our allies aren't yet stepping up to your standard, is the United States getting back to being the world's policeman?
Look, the United States should not be very much involved. They can on a certain basis. They've been doing it for a long time. But I've always said, if you look back years ago, I said, why aren't we being reimbursed? These are the richest countries in the world. Why aren't we being reimbursed for maintaining the Hormuz Strait? And why aren't we being reimbursed for that? I've said that for years. You can go back. They reported on it yesterday. I've been saying a lot of things about the straits. Number one, I said it's the one advantage they have, but that's a suicidal advantage because they kill themselves more than they kill the rest of the world. And there are things you can do with time. There are other things you can do, but I think we're going to have the situation straightened out pretty quickly, and I think we're going to have some good help, and I think we're going to be disappointed in some nations too. And I'll let you know who those nations are.
One of your advisors, David Sachs, said the other week that the U.S. should, quote, declare victory and get out of the Iran war. He also warned that if the conflict escalates, Israel may contemplate the use of a nuclear weapon. Has he shared that assessment with you?
No, he hasn't. Israel wouldn't do that. Israel would never do that. And there's a theory. You've pounded them to hell, and you could just leave now, and it'll take 10 years for them to build back not nearly what they have right now. And I guess that's another theory, but we want to have it ended so that another president doesn't have. Look, for 47 years, no president was willing to do what I'm doing, and they should have done it a long time ago. It would have been a lot easier. There's no president that wanted to do it, and yet every president knew. I've spoken to a certain president, who I like, actually, a past president, former president. He said, I wish I did it. I wish I did, but they didn't do it. I'm doing it. Yeah.
Which president?
I can't tell you that. I don't want to embarrass him. It would be very bad for his career, even though he's got no career left. Go ahead, please.
You mentioned.
How about the man right
Thank you, sir. Mr. President, you mentioned that you're not entirely sure who you're dealing with, who the leadership is in Iran. Do you see a viable opposition movement still in that country following all of the protests that we had seen before the airstrikes and kind of an opposition movement that could become a viable leader in Iran?
Well, the biggest problem, and we have brave people in this room, but the biggest problem that I see is that they put out a warning, and we have the warning. We get everything they get. And it said any protester that goes onto the street will be immediately shot and killed. This is a little tougher than the American way. This is not quite as tough as, nobody can believe it. So I can't imagine, they don't have guns. And the other ones have guns. Highly sophisticated machine guns and AK-47s and other kinds of guns. And they did that with the women. So the women had 250,000, even 500 people protesting a year ago. And they shot women right through the middle of the forehead. with snipers.
Horrible.
And they didn't have to do many.
Absolutely horrible.
About 10 went down bleeding profusely, and 250 to 500,000 women went running in the other direction, because they can be brave, but they're not stupid, and they have no gun, and you have snipers in buildings specifically for this reason. So a woman goes down falling, bleeding from the head, and it doesn't take long for that to spread. And when that spreads, that crowd dispenses. And nobody else has been able to do that to the extent that these people are violent. They killed a minimum 2 weeks ago, 32,000 people. So, and they put out actually a notice 2 days ago. If you protest, you will be shot and killed. So, I don't know. I would say Mike Johnson's the only person I know who has the courage to go out in that kind of an atmosphere. I don't think so. Yeah.
Have your advisors told you anything in terms of how long we can expect gas prices as high as they are right now?
I don't need advisors to tell me that. I know what it is. You know, the Prime Minister of UK, United Kingdom, yesterday told me,
Thank you, Chris.
I'm meeting with my team
Very nice of you.
to make a determination. I said, you don't need to meet it with
Get
the
a lot of
team.
hate
You're the
sometimes,
Prime
but that's
Minister.
fine.
You can make your own. Why do you have to meet with your team to find out whether or not you're going to send some minesweepers to us or to send some boats? I said, you don't have to meet with your team. It's the same thing here. I can tell you that when this is over, oil prices are going to go down very, very rapidly. So is inflation, so is everything else. But frankly, much more important than short-term, even long-term oil prices, you can't let the most violent, vicious country in the last 50 years have a nuclear weapon, because the Middle East will be gone, Israel will go first, without question, and they'll certainly take a shot at us before we get our act together and say we got to take them out. You can't let Iran, who's truly a nation of great terror and power. Look what happened in the last 2 weeks. They weren't supposed to go after all these other countries in the Middle East. Those missiles were set to go after them. So they hit Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Bahrain, Kuwait. Nobody expected that. We were shocked. And the other one, you know, they fought back. They could have yielded. But think of it, if we weren't around, they had tremendous power. They had thousands of missiles, most of which we've terminated. They had thousands of drones. They were making drones and missiles all over the place. We've knocked out most of those factories. I mean, now they're sending out 2 or 3 missiles. Now, you know, they've still got some. They might have 8% left. But mostly they've been eliminated. They've been terminated by what we did and what Israel did too. Yeah, please.
Israel is expected to expand its ground offensive in southern Lebanon to go after Hezbollah. Have you discussed that with Israeli leaders?
Yeah.
And does the United States support a potential Israeli invasion of Lebanon?
Yeah, no, I did. And I know look, Hezbollah is a problem. It's been a problem for a long time, not just now. And it's a certain area, because I was with the other night a person whose parents live in Lebanon. This is a very substantial person, wealthy person, whose parents live in Lebanon. I said, really? How do you live in Lebanon? Your parents are living? Oh, yeah, they live there. And over the years, they've gotten used to the fact that it's being bombed. But they explained to me that it's really a different section of Lebanon. It's the section where Hezbollah is. And they get used to it, I guess. I don't know. I mean, people live in Ukraine. You would think they wouldn't live in Ukraine, but they live in Ukraine. I don't know that I'd do that, but they live in Ukraine. They live in Lebanon.
There we go. This market structure is forming nicely.
And they're rapidly being eliminated.
That breakout.
Thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate it.
They cut him off so fast. Like, he rambles. Like, you're done, Trump. You're done. We have no more time. All right, there it was, everybody. That was Donald Trump. He did speak about the war a little bit. You could see how Bitcoin slightly reacted to price action. We're going to look at Bitcoin one last time, and then I'll jump on out of here and kind of show you what I see happening. But I'm still long on this bigger 4-hour structure, right? You can get in here with a stop below the 21. The key area was the 21 there, but still a good structure there. On top of that, the 1 hour is still holding position inside of the smaller flag as well. You got to open this up, put this here. Let me delete this stuff for you and make it nice and neat. But you're still seeing this. You know, we were looking at the 1 minute there while we were trading. Listening to that. So, funny, he said the word pounded so many times. Well, yeah, you can see that breaking out, right? That could break out the 21 above the 200 yet again. You have support and resistance too as well. So whether you come back down here and bounce off 72.1 or you stay in here and get tight and break out, I'm bullish on the bigger structure, right? So that's kind of like bigger time. I mean, then the 15-minute looking tight here, this is what we're looking for, the breakout too. And to me, that looks like it's going to happen. I like it so far, so I'm bullish. And I haven't kind of changed anything I say. So I'm going to go get some breakfast or whatever. This is the first time I eat at 1 o'clock every day, so God bless everybody. Thank you so much. I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you for a wonderful live stream. The secret to success is getting started. Keep pushing. Keep going. Don't stop. You can. You will. You're all the best. I got you. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys tomorrow.